What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the Playmakers Corner podcast. I'm your host for today, Simon Voyanos, aka Coach V, and I got your Week 9 2024 NAIA Women's Flag Football recap. We have a pretty eventful weekend here. It was the last regular season week for KCAC play, and then the second to last one for Sun Conference play here. So definitely a couple interesting matchups to talk about, as a regular season KCAC champ was crowned here at this week as they approach their tournament. And then for the Sun Conference, still some big games that had to be played as they approach the end here that will decide the 4 teams who go or will go compete at the end of this regular season in their Sun Conference tournament. I'm pretty sure they only take 4, so some pretty big implications there. But without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into it. All right, now let's go ahead and talk about number 10 Baker playing number 17 Cottey. This happened on April 8th, on Monday, so this was the first game of this week here, week 9, and here's how it would go down. In the first quarter, not too much happening. Baker's first drive would stall out after Sanaya Waller got sacked by Susanna Bear on third. That would end up forcing a 3 and out. Cottey would then get the ball back, but would not be able to do too much with it. They would also go 3 and out after an incompletion, and a pass breakup by Logan Hearn would put them in a tough spot, so they would punt it back. And then on Baker's second drive here, Baker would get a first down on a nice scramble by Sanaya Waller, but would eventually stall out near midfield. And so there you go. Let's go on into the second quarter here. Cottey would get the ball back, and Amaya Karula in at quarterback would scramble for first, and they would also get Cottey as an offense, would also get a PI penalty thrown against Baker. That would be enough to get them a first down past midfield, but unfortunately they would stall out here, not being able to convert on fourth. And so Baker takes over here, and here's what happens. Sanaya Waller gets a first on a short throw to Logan Hearn, and then completes a long pass here to Kayla Harrison for about 20 yards to get them past midfield. Waller would then scramble to get another first to put them in the red zone. A couple big plays just like that to get this drive going. Eventually, this drive would end in the red zone with Waller running it in to get them on the board. She would then throw the check down to Destiny Martinez, who would run it in on the PAT to make it 7-0 with about 6:01 left here in the second quarter. Now Cottey, they would reply back with some passes to Shea Measley, including a 42-yarder on the second play of this drive to go ahead and get this one going. Eventually, it would come down to a 4th and 1 in the red zone, where Karula would find Lee to make it 7-6. PAT would be no good. Now to end this second quarter here, Chanel Norris of Cottey would intercept Waller with about 2:07 left here, and Cottey would try to drive here with the potential opportunity to take the lead. But that drive would end with a Faith Phillips interception. So there you go there at half. Baker leading 7-6 over Cottey. Now going into the third quarter, Karula will get this one started with some passes to Shea Measley here, but then she would take a tough sack, which was by Kayla Harrison, before an incompletion led to a 4th and 12 near midfield. On 4th and 12, though, Karula would convert with a pass to Tamaya Squire. That would be enough to get them past midfield and kind of bail them out of that situation. But unfortunately, that drive would stall out as his Baker defense holds strong. But Baker would then not get anything going, would go 3 and out, just looking a little out of sync here. And so Cottey would take over, but basically end on another 4th and 1 where Karula looks like she was trying to run it, will get stopped once more by Kayla Harrison, and so that would be a turnover on downs. Now by this point, I believe we enter the fourth quarter here, and Baker would begin to pull away as they put together a pretty solid drive where Waller would just scramble 4 straight times and get some good yards here, get a couple first downs, and this drive would eventually end with a 2nd and 11 where Gabriela Zabaleta finds Sanaya Waller here for a touchdown pass to make it 13-6. Then it looks like they went for 2 here, where Waller throws it to Jalen Harrison to make it 15-6 with 4:42 left. This one is, I wouldn't say basically over yet. It is very much a 9-point game, so they would have to score quickly, stop him, get the ball back. But here's what happens. Cottey would have time to put together a drive where they got past midfield, but on 2nd and 16, Karula would throw it, and it would be intercepted by Zabaleta, and that would effectively end this game here. Waller would get one more touchdown here at the end, where she would just run it in to make this one a 22-6 win. Baker defeating Cottey here. Player of the game, I think, has to be Gabriela Zabaleta. She threw that touchdown pass to end the game and also got a pretty key interception to really put this one away here. Let's go ahead and talk box score here. Amaya Karula, 25 of 39 for 200 yards, a touchdown, 2 picks, 2 really tough picks. One at the end of that second quarter, the other one at the end of this game here. She also had 43 rushing yards. Seamus Lee led with 10 receptions, 88 yards, and a touchdown. She had a good game. Tamaya Squire was really productive, 5 for 56 here. Kenzie Murdoch adding on 5 for 23. On defense here, Suzanne Aubert led them with 6 tackles and a sack in this game. 3 TFLs as well. Seamus Lee with 5 and Chanel Norris with 5 and that 1 interception. For Baker, Snia Waller, a little bit of a tough going here. 8 of 18 for 84 yards. No throwing touchdowns and an interception. Did run for 132 rushing yards, though, and 2 touchdowns there as they really leaned on her there. Gabriela Zabaleta, 2 for 2 for 20 yards and a touchdown. That one going to Waller, an 11-yard touchdown. The lead receiver, Kayla Harrison, with 3 receptions for 33 yards. Jalen Harris, 2 for 28, and Faith Phillips, 1 for 15 there. On defense, Destiny Martinez continues her run. 9 tackles in this one. Faith Phillips right behind her with 8, an interception, and 2 breakups as she played very good football. Kayla Harrison with 2 sacks in this one as well. So, all in all being said, Baker, approaching the end of the regular season here. I believe this was their second to last game, I want to say. And, there are some signs of a young team still. This offense, they have a lot of talent, but I think this is probably more of a QB situation. They're up and down, right? They're up and down, they're young, and it kind of varies. I think they could have played a cleaner game. I felt like they went 3 and out a lot here, so there you go there. For Cottey, on the other hand, just kind of working with what you had. Got to feel good about playing them close, but unfortunately, it came down to some of those turnovers on offense that really hurt them here. But, it is what it is. So, there you go there. Baker defeats Cottey 22-6.
Hey everybody, we are back with some Sun Conference action in return served to the KCAC action that's been discussed. And this game is going to be Warner versus Weber here on April 10th here. That was last Wednesday. And this is a big matchup in our power rankings between the number 2 and number 7 ranked teams here. Warner 2, Weber 7. And the 7th ranked team in the country, according to us, is going to start with the football here. And on this very first play, it is a motion right to left, quick pass, and then lateral to Sammy Gonzalez, who gets to the 38-yard line. However, this basically might as well have not been a play here because offsetting penalties will take us right back to square one here. But they go right back to Sammy here, who gets her flag pulled by Anna Vincencini here really quickly. And now it's second down, but a pass right to Sigmundi picks up a first down to the 26-yard line here. Now, on first down, the Warriors throw left to Riley Bossler here, who gets almost to the 30-yard line, and on a quick pass, it was a great rush by Warner out the gate here, but now it's 2nd and 11, and this is actually going to be an incompletion here on a drop. And so now on 3rd and 11, they have a short motion here, and then a check down to Gonzalez, who evades a defender and sets up 4th and 1 here to midfield. Big decision here. Do we go for it? Do we not go for it? And Weber is actually going to go for it on 4th and 1 here and call a very fast pass to the center here for a first down. Now, on 1st and past midfield here, Wilson takes the snap and throws down the middle deep to Caitlin Sigmundi, who reels it in and runs into the end zone on a 38-yard pass and catch here, with Weber jumping out to an early 6-0 lead. The PAT is no good, however, as the Warner defense tightens up, but a huge play to start puts the Warriors in a very early lead here. Now, Warner has the football here, and they throw left, setting up second and short, and then Crooks throws a contested pass left that is almost intercepted by Weber, but not quite reeled in. Crooks bounces back here with a quick pass over the middle to Adriana Williams that picks up a first down and a handful more almost to the 30-yard line. Crooks then passes right to Ludwig, setting up 2nd and 5 until midfield, but then a pass left is almost picked off by Weber again on this drive here. Not a great start here, and after an incompletion on 3rd down, the Royals are going to line up on 4th and 5, trying to get Weber to jump off sides, but they are unsuccessful in getting them to jump off sides and pass the ball here. And that's going to be incomplete in a turnover on downs, giving the Warriors the ball on the 35-yard line going in. And I think that the Royals are going to have some shock waves here as Sigmundi is short motion right to left, and there's a quick pass to Gonzalez that turns upfield, picking up 10 yards now with 25 to go until the end zone. Wilson then tries to pass to Sigmundi in the right side, but that pass is going to be intercepted by Vincenzini, who takes it all the way to the house for the pick 6 here. And then on the PAT, Crooks is going to throw it to the back corner and connect with Portwood here, now leading 7-6 on the heels of a defensive touchdown here. Weber with the ball back here comes out and gets a short pass to Leah Bailey here, who gets to the 23-yard line and gets a first down as well. Now there's a pass over the middle that's incomplete, setting up 2nd and 7, but then a pass to Bolser is caught, who then pitches it to Gonzalez, who gets a first down into the Royals territory with just under a minute to go in the first quarter. Now, starting from the 39-yard line going in, this is actually going to take us to the end of the first quarter here, and on the second quarter, it is opened up with a Sam Wilson pass to Jasmine Henry. Following the gain of 10 is 2nd and 9, and another dump off is called to Sammy Gonzalez, who almost gets a first, but some laundry on the field will actually push Weber back to the 39-yard line. And so now they're facing 2nd and 19, replay the down here. There's a pass to Bailey over the middle that gets to the 28-yard line. Vincenzini once again on the flagpole, just making plays everywhere around the field. On 3rd and 8, it is a false start, pushing Weber back to 3rd and 13, where they have a short motion left to right, 2 blockers stay back, and then it ends up just being a dump off to Gonzalez, whose flag is pulled short of the first. Now it's 4th down and about 8 yards to go towards the red zone here. Wilson throws deep left, and it's almost picked off by Portwood. Ends up on the turf, and there's a flag on the play against Warner. It's roughing the passer, giving Weber a first down and new life. And so with a fresh set of downs, they start off with a pass right to Bolser, who picks up 4 yards, and it's 2nd and goal from the 10-yard line. There's a throw left that picks up a little over 5 before Portwood makes the play here. And on 3rd and 4, it's an incompletion. But on 4th and 4, Sigmundi is motioned from right to left, a short motion. And then it's a pass to a wide open Leah here for the touchdown. It is now 12-7 with Weber regaining the lead here. See, the defense was really concerned about that Sigmundi motion here, and so when she came in, it left some green over on the right side of the field where Leah Bailey made a very easy catch and waltz into the end zone here to retake this lead. However, the Warner defense holds stiff again, making the PAT no good, and now they are getting the ball back, only down by 5 points here, and it's Warner ball with 6 minutes and 55 seconds left in the second quarter. Now, they open up with a short pass, and now on 2nd down, Crooks keeps and gets a first down before Bolser pulls her flag. But on 1st down here, now just outside of their own 20-yard line, Crooks floats it, and Sammy Gonzalez here gets the interception, setting up Weber on the Warner's 20-yard line, but not the first down side of the 20-yard line. And they take a shot to Sigmundi on 1st down, but an illegal contact penalty will push them back here. And so on 1st and 10, it's a quick pass to Sammy Gonzalez, who picks up 4 yards. Then on 2nd and 6, Wilson has a great throw into a window to Bolster, who collects the first down and sets up Weber on the 10-yard line. Now with 1st and 10, however, until the goal line to go now for the Warriors here. And so from the 10-yard line, Wilson kind of rolls right on this first down play, but she throws across her body and gets intercepted by Angela Bunting here, giving Warner the football. And so now Warner will start on their own 15 with 3 minutes and 29 seconds remaining here. And there's a new quarterback in, being Catherine Hutchinson, and her very first pass is almost intercepted. However, on the following play, it is a roll right and throw right to Kayla Ludwig, who's just shy on the first down. And on 3rd and 1, it is a roll left and throw to Castillo to the 23-yard line, who does pick up a first down here. Now it's a 2-minute warning, and Warner is going to burn a timeout here, leaving them with 1 left. And following them coming back from the timeout here, it is going to be an incomplete pass regardless. And now it is 2nd and 17. There's a quick pass right to Bunting, who picks up 5. And on 3rd and 13, Hutchinson throws deep, and it is almost intercepted by Sigmundi, forcing Warner to punt. Now Weber has the ball with 45 seconds to go on their own 28-yard line and start off with an incompletion. And then there's a pass to Jasmine Henry, who evades a few defenders and tiptoes the sideline, getting past midfield, and Weber uses a quick timeout. However, on the next play, it is caught inbounds, and they just run out of time. But Weber is leading the number 2 team in the country 12-7 at half here. Even with a couple of missed opportunities in the red zone, their defense is just playing so well, and their offense is doing just enough here to keep pulling away here. Meanwhile, the Warner offense, not sure what they got going on, and I don't think that they know either. But when they come out here in the second half, it is another swap at the quarterback position with Shay Crooks in, and the first pass is dropped, and then the second pass is actually tipped and then intercepted by Riley Bolser here. She had an opportunity for a pick earlier, and now she cashes in on it this time around. And so now Weber is in Warner's red zone early in the third quarter here, and they open up with a short pass to Gonzalez, who picks up about 7 or 8 yards. Now on 2nd and goal from the 8-yard line, the pass is broken up, and now it is 3rd and goal. And there's a quick rush that forces Wilson to throw quick over the middle here. All of a sudden, it is 4th and 5 here. Weber trying not to squander another red zone opportunity, and they throw left to Jasmine Henry, and it is incomplete here. And there is a sentiment on the Weber sideline. Coach is absolutely just super upset here, thinking that there should have been a flag here. I could definitely see some contact on the play. I feel like it was a little hard to tell as far as going for the ball and whatnot, but no flag is thrown regardless, and so it is a turnover on downs here, with Warner getting the football on their own 5-yard line. And they get a 5-yard pickup on first down. Crooks is in here, and they get a first down throw to Kayla Ludwig, and then they just kind of spam this idea here, passing to Ludwig again, this time over the middle, that gets to the 34-yard line, and then she gets her 3rd straight reception on the right side here, picking up another first down, and they're in Warrior territory with about 6 minutes to go in the quarter. Now they have another pass over the middle that gets all the way to the 26-yard line. This is Vincenzini on the reception, and then Crooks throws left to Vincenzini, who picks up a first down, and now they are inside the red zone. 2 quick incompletions, however, will now set up the Royals to be in a 3rd and 15 situation, and who else but Ludwig gets a catch here that picks up about 8 yards. And now it's 4th and 7. Warner is going to use a timeout with 2 minutes and 37 seconds left in the third quarter, and when they come out, they dial up a play, throwing to the left, but it is going to be intercepted by Cheyenne Duran here in the end zone, who just stays in the end zone, and it is called for a touchback here. It is Weber ball, but an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty will set up half the distance here, and now they're kind of a bit deeper in their own territory. Wilson throws right to Gonzalez here for a few yards, but then on 2nd down, the pass over the middle is tipped and intercepted by Madison Portwood, who takes it all the way to the house. That is Warner's 2nd touchdown via defensive scoring then, and it puts Warner automatically in the lead because of the PAT diff here. And now Warner is leading 13-12, and after a throw left to Vincenzini is caught. It is 14-12 now here, and Weber football now down. And on Weber's first play here, the throw is intercepted by Vincenzini, giving Warner the ball on the 14-yard line going in. But in the most royal pain in the butt way possible here, Warner then turns the ball right back over, throwing the ball over the middle that is intercepted by Caitlin Sigmundi and kneeled in the end zone for a touchback. So you have, outside of the PAT, 3 straight passes, 3 straight interceptions, courtesy of Portwood, Vincenzini, and Sigmundi here. These defenses are playing very, very well, but I think that these quarterbacks are also being a bit ambitious with some of these throws here. Maybe not the best decision-making is in the air at this time of this game. But Weber with the ball again, still down by 2 points, throws right to Sigmundi, who just cannot get her flags pulled and ends up rumbling ahead to the 33-yard line. Now, there's an incompletion that ends the third quarter here, and to start the fourth quarter, they pass to Bolser here that sets up 3rd and 3 to midfield. Now, they pass to Bolser here on 3rd down on a flat route, and she actually gets to the sideline and wins the foot race down the right sideline for the touchdown, giving Weber the lead right back. If it weren't for the flag on the play against Bolser for flag guarding, undoing the touchdown, but still giving Weber a first down on the 30-yard line. Now, the first down play here, they show that they're not completely deflated, picking up 6 yards. And now on 2nd and 4, they have a pass over the middle where the flag is pulled just before the first down. It is 3rd and inches here. They take a shot for the end zone here that is incomplete. But on 4th and inches, I feel like they knew that they were going to be able to get the first down regardless here as they throw right to Bolser, who's dragged down and will garner a holding flag on the Royals, putting the Warriors inside the 10-yard line with 8 minutes to go. The first down play is a drop, however, and on 2nd down, Weber is going to burn a timeout here, and they dial up a pass play to Jasmine Henry that is caught at the 2-yard line. But on 3rd and goal from the 2-yard line, who is going to answer the call other than one of the best freshmen of the entire season? Talasha Perry here for the Royals gets a massive sack here, pushing the Warriors back to the 5-yard line. And now they are going to have a timeout to talk things over, but it's going to be Warner calling the timeout with 5:19 to go. Sigmundi, once they come out of the timeout, motions from right to left. Short snap, throw to Gonzalez, who outpaces one defender, but then has her flag pulled just short of the goal line, and now it's a turnover on downs. Warner has the ball with about 5 minutes left in the ball game. Crooks throws short to the snapper, who gets to the 18-yard line, but 2 quick incompletions, including a 3rd down pass deflection by Sammy Gonzalez, puts Warner in a 4th and 2 position from their own 18-yard line, where they are going to be forced to punt here. And now Weber is going to get the ball to start on the 39-yard line with 2 minutes and 19 seconds to go. It is the 2-minute drill with a chance for a game-winning touchdown drive. Now they have a pass short that gets to the 35-yard line in Warner territory before the 2-minute warning comes up. There's then a throw to Bolser that's incomplete, and then it is another major sack here by the Royals defense, pushing the Warriors back to their own 39-yard line. And now, with 1:39 to go, there's a throw over the middle that is pulled by Vincenzini, and Weber will take a timeout with 4th and 16 to go to the red zone here. They take a deep shot to Bolser that's incomplete and will unfortunately turn over on downs with 1:08 left. And Warner will kneel this game out here. Warner winning 14-12 over the Weber Warriors here. Just some notes for each team. For Weber here, I think that they had a ton of opportunities. Their defense played their defense actually pitched a shutout in this game. Outside of, the PATs, which is a real shame because they did a great job of getting consistent pressure. They had some great pass breakups. Sammy Gonzalez, Caitlin Sigmundi both had awesome games on the Warriors side of the defense. And then on the offensive side, they were able to drive really, really well. Sammy Gonzalez, I would assume, probably led this team in receptions. Bolser had some good catches. Obviously, Sigmundi had that big reception to start the scoring here. And Sam Wilson made some good throws, but she also made some horrible, very poor decision throws. Throwing across your body in the red zone for that one pick really, really hurts. And then it double sucks that 2 of your interceptions went back to the house and you threw, in addition to that, 2 more interceptions. So, just some of the decision making had me scratching my head, especially because Sam Wilson is a vet at this point and knows how to make these reads. And I feel like should know what kind of throws she can or can't make. And just that one that was across her body, throw it out of bounds. You guys have more plays to score there. And so killing that drive and that turnover opportunity was just a huge bummer because this Weber defense forced a ton of turnovers and it had some great flag pulls. Like I said, once again, some of the same names here, Bolser, Sigmundi, Gonzalez here, all making plays defensively. But shout out to the Royals defense. When push came to shove, they got it done. Madison Portwood, obviously, with that pick 6. And, Vincent Cini just putting together an MVP, and of the season caliber performance in this game with the pick 6, with another interception, with big flag pulls over the middle, preventing first downs. There's just really nothing that she could not do in this game. Also being one of the few bright spots on offense with a few receptions here. But speaking of offense for the Royals, like I said on the Weber side, the Royals got shut out in this game, which is, I'm very worried about Warner, heading into this game against Keiser later this week, and also in the Sun Conference tournament. I just think that other teams have had more significant strides on offense, and the fact that they can still win when their offense is off is good, but man, somebody at quarterback needs to step up. Shay Crooks has got to be making better decisions considering she's gotten a majority of the snaps this year, and I just think that she's a little bit in her head, and honestly, just watch the film, take what the defense gives you, and to all quarterbacks who I'm watching here in flag, if the pass isn't there, and it's not, like 4th down or 3rd down, throw it away. Live to fight another down here and just give your team a chance rather than turning the ball over and just taking massive crunches here. And then, it was a little concerning to watch Hutchinson get in there and also struggle. Granted, this Weber team is really, really good. But, just an interesting choice from the staff here. I don't know if that hurt or sparked Crooks here in any way, but regardless, this offense has a lot to figure out prior to heading into the postseason. But the defense is the best single side of a unit in flag football, I think, right now. And that was enough to beat Weber here 14-12. The Royals come out on top. What's good, everyone? It is one of your co-hosts for this episode, Kodey Stauffer here. And I'm going to be talking a couple of the games on April 10th, as well as a few on April 12th. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it here with the very first matchup, which was Cottey Comets versus the University of St. Mary's Spires here. This was Cottey's senior night here for this squad. So they had a little ceremony before, but as far as conditions go, it looked pretty frigid as well as wet/damp. We have everybody wearing hoodies and whatnot, and as well as, some ski masks and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and get into it, but I just wanted to kind of paint a picture here because it will explain some of these plays as we get into this game. But the University of St. Mary's starts with the ball here, and, we got a motion from right to left with number 8, Ayanna Harris here, who gets the handoff on this jet sweep, but on her way gets impeded here, and so that's going to draw a penalty and push the Spires all the way to the 30-yard line, obviously for a first down here. Now on the very next play though, the Comet defense bounces back here, getting a sack from Suzanne Aubert here, pushing them, the Spires that is, back to their own 22-yard line. Now on 2nd down and 18, Brooks looks over the middle and finds number 12, Talia Wright here, who wins this battle for the ball, that is, and extends to the sideline for a first down all the way to the opposite 39. So now they've picked up a first down, 2 first downs in 3 plays. So a pretty decent drive here. And once again, we have Ayanna Harris in motion on the next play here. And it's a read option with number 14 running right and getting to the 36 before having her flag pulled by Kenzie Murdoch in the open field. It's a very solid flag pull here. So now we're looking at second down on this drive, and it's a snap dump off to number 14, who amid the pressure gets to the 29-yard line. L. Campbell here. Third down and 9. Brooks is flushed out right and picks up a first down, and now the Spires are in the red zone, or actually that was the NAIA Hooks who picks up the first down here for the Spires, and they're in the red zone of Cottey. There's 8.5 minutes remaining. They're on the 17-yard line. There's motion from the top of the screen down, but the direct snap to 7 is kept right, just getting outside the 10-yard line. That's LaToya Mitchell getting all the way to the 10. Now, second down and 10 with 2 receivers right, 2 receivers left, and 1 split way out here. There's a rush by Suzanne Aubert that forces the quarterback right and throws the ball out of the end zone. Now on 3rd and 11, they got a bunch formation here. They snap plenty of time, but good coverage downfield forces an incompletion. And on 4th and goal, the snap is too low, actually hitting the ground and being a turnover on downs. And so now Cottey here gets the ball on their own 18-yard line with 5 minutes and 11 seconds in the first quarter. They line up with 4 receivers right and call a direct snap here to the quarterback, who gets a first down to the 25-yard line. On the next play, it is a direct snap left, but number 20 for USM here, Janiyah Swanson, is credited with a flag pull for loss, and that sets up about 2nd and 18. A snap here is thrown left to number 4 for Cottey, who gets to about the 29-yard line. That's Shamise Lee on the reception. And then on 3rd and 11, they keep back 1 to block the quarterback and let it fly, but it's too far out of bounds, and they will punt. USM gets a very unlucky bounce, and now they will start their drive at about their own 15-yard line with about 2 minutes to go, and they're actually going to burn a timeout with 2:02 to go in the first. Very first play from scrimmage, it's a handoff to 21, who picks up just a couple. And then on 2nd and 3, quarterback here, Brooks, surveys lots of time and eventually finds 14 all the way past midfield here to the Comets' 48-yard line here. Campbell was so open. Honestly, if the trigger was pulled on this sooner, it might have been a touchdown. But regardless, a huge chunk gain here to get all the way past midfield. Now, the bunch formation here is a direct snap that results in 7 picking up just a couple, but a flag on USM will push them back onto their own side of the field. On the very next play here, Brooks is flushed outright, and Murdoch makes a major flag pull with no one behind her, limiting the gain to just 1 yard and ending the first quarter. So now we're looking at 2nd and 24 for the Spires here, and Brooks here throws left, and it is easily picked by Chanel, number 14, and returned to the Spire 20-yard line here, and well, inside the 20-yard line. And so now Cottey has the football inside the red zone after an easy pick by Chanel Norris here, and there's about 11 minutes remaining. The first pass is incomplete, and the second one is dropped here. And so now we're looking at 3rd down for Cottey here, and Amaya Krula here steps right and lets one fly to the end zone, and it is caught for the Cottey touchdown here. The PAT is no good, but Cottey now leads the ball game 6-0 with 9:31 to go in the first half. Now, in this very first play back for USM here, they line up and call a pass play, but the ball is dropped. Then there's a deep pass that's incomplete, and after another incompletion on 3rd down, they will punt. So St. Mary's throws a pick here and allows their opponent to score, Cottey that is, and now they have to go 3 and out. So Cottey here, with some blood in the water, has a chance to make this a 2-score lead by starting on their own 30, by starting on the 36 heading in, that is, with 6.5 minutes to go. They got 4 receivers left, and the snap is thrown right on a drag to 4, who makes a catch to the boundary to the 25-yard line, so about an 11-yard pickup by Shamise Lee here. The Comets then line in tight with all 5 non-snappers to the right of the center and 3 in the backfield, who shadow leads the way for Karula, who heads right and picks up the first down. Now here on first down, they got 2 tight by the snapper and 1 running back who receives the dump off right, and 11 goes ahead to about the 16-yard line. That's Tamaya Squire here on the reception. Now on second down, Karula looks left and definitely has a receiver open, but decides to tuck and run herself and gets to the 9-yard line. I actually think that if this was thrown to the receiver, this probably could have been a touchdown just because the receiver was open as well as had open field and would have caught it in stride instead of Karula relying on the acceleration to get there. On third down here, the throw left cannot quite be brought in, but it feels like where the ball is supposed to be, and now we're staring at 4th and 9 with 3.5 minutes to go in the half. Karula has all day to throw, but the Spire defense is hanging in tight and makes the flagpole on the dump off to force the turnover on down. Solid coverage downfield by the Spire defense, definitely bending, but nothing to break here. But following the dump off here, it is worth mentioning that St. Mary's is inside their own 5-yard line with less than 3 minutes until the half, and their initial run goes for nada. On the second play here, they are bunched in and call a direct snap and a quick handoff to number 2, who gives the Spires some breathing room all the way to the 12-yard line. That's Sade Irvin on the run here. And now it's 3rd and 8 with 1:15 to go. And we got a great play by Sade Irvin here, coming back to the football on the pass in the middle of the field, of helping avoid any potential turnovers and picking up a first down with 1.5 minutes remaining. Now the throw right here following that play sails out of bounds, and then on the following play, Brooks rolls right and throws, and the pass is almost intercepted by Shamise Lee here. That's definitely a missed opportunity, but USM regardless is in a tough spot with 3rd and 20, and I think that they're just going to try and get to the half. They have a bunch-up formation and call a direct snap to 7, who picks up 5, and the clock will wind out here. So, Cottey in the opening half is leading here 6-0, courtesy of the Karula to Shamise Lee 17-yard touchdown, and their defense here making some big plays prior to the half. I think that the play calling on offense is playing to the QB's strengths, and the plan to run it and run it well is obvious and working well, especially in these conditions. You know, we've already had a few drops in this game, which, I mean, drops are going to happen in every game, but like I said, it looks like it's wet a little bit, maybe a little damp, and so, you know, I think that catching the football is going to be a little bit more tough despite not having very active precipitation. And, you know, with that in mind, I do think that Cottey has left points on the field already, and one hopes that these missed opportunities don't come back to bite them. As for USM, outside of their opening drive, not a whole lot to love on offense, with the quarterback just not seeing the field super well, no matter who it has been, and the run game has just not been as effective, with Cottey keying in on it following that opening drive. But those are my quick halftime notes. Let's get back into the action here with Cottey, starting with the football here, and not an electric first down play as it is just an incompletion here. But they come out in the exact same formation here with a tight twins right look, and Karula pumps and then just accelerates through the middle for a first down and some more all the way to the 30-yard line. Karula on the following play avoids the sack and completes a pass right to number 3 by the boundary, who gets to about the 35-yard line. That's Joliet Johnson on the reception. And now it's 2nd and 5 until midfield, but the Spires bring 2 rushers and force a throwaway. And on 3rd and 5 now to midfield, the Comets line up in shotgun. They keep 2 blockers back, but the quarterback is too antsy as she flushes right and almost throws a pick, and so they feel almost probably lucky here to get a chance to punt here. Now, St. Mary's gets the ball on their own 17-yard line with 8:45 to go once the ball is snapped, and start off their drive with an incompletion as well. And on 2nd down, they spread out with 1 running back who ends up making the catch on a leak out left for a first down to the 26-yard line here For the Spires, that is 7, LaToya Mitchell making the catch here. Now, it's the same formation on first down here, and the snap to Brooks finds 12 in the flats here. Talia Wright, who ends up getting bumped and flattened by a Cottey defender who thinks she sold it a bit much, but regardless, it is a penalty and pushes the Spires all the way to the 39-yard line. Now, with only a yard to go and first down, the Spires can afford to take a shot here, but they have short motion right from 2, right to left, who gets across the snapper, and the Spires try and throw it, but the pass is dropped. Now, in 2nd and 1 here, the Spires are actually going to burn a timeout with 6:24 to go in the third quarter here. And when they come out, it is a shotgun snap that ends up being a quick dump off to the usual shadow blocker here, LaToya Mitchell, who gets a first down all the way to the Comets' 33-yard line. So once again, just like the first drive here, we have a Cottey penalty here that helps gain a chunk of yards for St. Mary's that they capitalize on and are once again in Cottey territory. Now, Brooks here on this first down play in enemy territory is kind of forced out of bounds for a very slight loss here. That is Suzanne Auber, I want to say, on the pressure once again. Now, in 2nd down and 13, there is a well-placed pass that is thrown into triple coverage, but like I said, the ball is exactly where it needs to be, but is not held onto. However, a defensive pass interference is sure to be called and places the ball all the way to the 23-yard line. It was called illegal contact, but it's an automatic first down regardless. Now, St. Mary's has a shift prior to the snap, and then the quick throw is actually intercepted by number 11, Tamaya Squire here. The pass was behind the receiver, and the interception is brought all the way back to the 39-yard line of the Spires here. It's a first down for Cottey, and that is another huge defensive turnover that is forced here with the Comets back against the wall here. This pass was literally just, the receiver had to really try and reach back for this, and Tamaya was just in a great position at that kind of linebacker spot and makes the play and returns it quite a distance before finally getting her flag pulled. And on this first down play for the Comets now on offense, there are 2 shadow blockers that stay back, and the rush still needs to be evaded, with eventually Karula finding Tamaya on the offensive end for a pickup of about 5 yards. Now it is 2nd down from the 34-yard line with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. There's a short pass to Tamaya once again, who makes a defender miss and gets to the 26-yard line. So if you include the scrimmage yards on the interception, Tamaya Squire is putting in a ton of work here, picking up, let's see, I want to say 34 yards just about, net-wise on the drive between the interception and now on offense. Third down here, no such luck as it is an incompletion. And so now, following a forced turnover, Cottey is in danger of going 4 and out here as it is 4th down and 6. They have a player on either side of the snappers and then twins left. The throw is deep and is overthrown and is now a turnover on downs. Kind of interesting to not just try and pick up the first down here, and especially with how well the run game has been working, not calling a single run play on this drive. And so USM dodges a bullet here and forces a turnover on downs in their own territory and starts on their own 26-yard line with a little over a minute once the ball is snapped here. But that is not great for USM as Suzanne Aubert here gets the sack, pushing the Spires back to the 19-yard line, making it over 20 yards to midfield and a first down. And their lineup here, they go from a tight kind of bunched up formation to a spread, and upon the shotgun snap, it's a load up and pass deep to number 2, who draws some penalty markers for pass interference. I just make a little note here that the Comet secondary plays the ball way too hard and just feels very spatially unaware of the receiver on this play here. And now it's a first down to the 29-yard line here. And after a shift from tight to trips left, Brooks winds up and throws left with number 2, Sada Irvin, making the catch to the Comets' 39-yard line that ends the third quarter. Now, it is the fourth quarter here. USM is in plus territory, and they come out in a tight formation. They shift to 4 pass catchers left of the snapper here. And with number 14 shadow blocking and then leaking, catching the check down, gets to about the 36-yard line for a pickup of just a few. Now they come out on this next play in spread, and Brooks sidesteps the sack and tries to pass it, but seemed like she had some field if she just ran a little bit. And now we're staring at 3rd and 16 here, and they do the inverse from earlier in this drive where they shift from a spread formation to a tight formation. Brooks winds up and throws down the middle of the field to Sade Irvin, who makes a one-handed catch just shy of the first down. However, this awesome catch is marred and undone by a penalty that pushes the Spires back into their own territory where they will replay 3rd down. It's actually so tragic. As Sade Irvin, I see you. You made a heck of a play on this football, but now it is a long way to go here, and even though a dump off is incomplete with about 10 minutes to go, the Spires are going to face 4th down, and after this penalty, they're going to just punt. And so now Cottey has the ball with under 9 minutes left on their own 15-yard line. Still just a one-score game, mind you, 6-0 here by the time they start this drive. And Kurula here does what she does best here, escapes the pocket, breaks right, and gets to the 26-yard line for an 11-yard gain and a 1st down. On 1st and 14, the snap is taken here. Kurula looks left and then rolls right and ends up tiptoeing to the sideline to the 29-yard line. On 2nd and 11, they got tight twins left, and the throw is left to number 4, but she gets her flag pulled a yard shy of midfield. That's still a 10-yard gain, however. And on 3rd and 1 with about 6.5 to go, they bring everyone in tight with one receiver slightly split left, and they quarterback power it fast up the middle with the defense showing great anticipation, but Kurula is just faster than the anticipation, narrowly getting the 1st down. And now with under 6 minutes to go, it is 1st and 19 here. The comments are very observant of the clock here, and they're taking their time. And then the throw is right to Julia Johnson, who catches in stride after a shadow blocking and release for a 25-yard gain, bringing the comments into the red zone. They are just benefiting from some major big plays at opportune times here. And following that is now 1st down with under 5 minutes to go and a chance to really put this game away. Now they throw left here, but number 5 for the Spires here, Charisma Delgado, makes a quick flag pull for a short gain. However, USM is flagged for an illegal contact, and that pushes Cottey forward to the 5-yard line anyway and gives them a fresh set of downs. Now, on this 1st down and goal here, it is thrown right and caught by 9, who is stopped by the 1-yard line. That's Alina Jean-Baptiste on the reception here, but it is number 4, Braley Chris. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. Braley Chris probably is the better way of doing that, who makes the touchdown-saving flag pull. But on 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line, it is 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go, and they just call a direct snap to Kurula up the gut, and after much waiting, it is ruled a touchdown here. Cottey goes up 12-0 with 3:28 to go, and then Kurula completes a pass to a wide-open Julia Johnson for the 1-point conversion, making it 13-0. Now, USM has 3.5 minutes to go. They have to score on this drive to even have a chance. And after a dump off to 12, picks up a couple of yards on 1st down. On 2nd down, Brooks looks deep right and unloads a deep pass, but that is going to be intercepted by number 4, Cottey, and brought back to the 24-yard line. Shamise Lee here with another big play here. And now the comments are just in bleed the clock mode. Or you would think, however, but they come out with a pass that's way too inside and, brings us to the 2-minute warning. Now a pass left on this 1st down happens, and Tenaya makes an awesome catch, but a penalty on Cottey will undo the gain and push them back to the 35-yard line, kind of just spinning their wheels at this point here. And now on 1st and 15, Kurula runs right to the 22-yard line, but ends up stepping out of bounds. You really got to slide here in situations like this, because now with the throw right that is dropped, there's still 1:40 in this game, but the clock is stopped now, and it is 3rd and 1. However, they dial up a pass play here and throw it left, and it's caught for the touchdown. But this is also going to be undone by a penalty here. Another illegal contact loses 10 yards from the spot and still leaves third down with the Comets pleading their case, but the call is followed through, and the Comets take a shot that is incomplete with 1:31 left in the game. And, I will just make a quick little note here, just trying to do a little bit of coaching. It looks like Angelina Cruz has been very guilty of a handful of penalties in this game on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball here. And regardless, the Cotteys will turn over the ball. But the Spires with a minute 26, I don't think they can win. They're just going to try and get something positive to go here. And on this very first play, Brooks is flushed right and finds number 21, Trinity Scott, who runs ahead to the 29-yard line before getting her flag pulled. Now, there's a couple of incompletions here, and now it's Trey Wright on third down, and it's a dump off that picks up to about the 16-yard line, and USM will take a timeout with 50 seconds to go. Now, a few plays run by here, but ultimately the Cottey defense stiffens up here, and Kenzie Murdoch makes an effortless flag pull that'll be a turnover on downs and think it'll end this game. Karula gets a run that gets past midfield before having her flag pulled at like the 37. But then the Comets pass with 30 seconds to go. And on this deep pass, it's almost intercepted. And then a Cottey player gets hurt, which is just like, bro, kneel the game out and get out of here. It is eventually ruled an interception. The pass that was deep was. We take a very, very long break, but it doesn't really matter as USM does not end up scoring. And so Cottey will win this football game 13-0 here. And, big plays for this Cottey team from Karula, obviously, Shamise Lee, Joliet Johnson, Tamaya Square, and then Suzanne Aubert on the pressure this game. All of those players stepped up very big. The defense played very well with the lone senior, Kenzie Murdoch. Shout out PMC fam, Kenzie Murdoch here, who led all Comets with 9 flag pulls here in this game here. And I guess was just the only celebrant of the senior night. But it's always nice to get a W here on senior night. And courtesy of the Cottey website here, it looks like Murdoch is heading into her senior season, having been 2nd in career receptions, 6th in career receiving yards, 3rd in career flag pulls, and one of only 4 Comets in history with a 100-yard receiving game. We all know that it's nothing but love here for Kenzie here at the pod. Congratulations on an awesome career here. And as for the rest of the Comets, congratulations on a win. This has been a solid season where you guys are beating the teams that I'd say you're supposed to. For USM here, I mean, some of these interceptions were just absolutely terrible. And I think that Brooks just needs to take it down a few notches and not let it get in her head so much. But there were some great plays. Sade Irvin, in particular, I think had a very great game for the Spires with some great catches. But ultimately, they still fall in this game here. And that is Cottey beating USM at home on senior night, April 10th, 2024, 13-0.
What is good, y'all? Gino here with the Playmakers Corner podcast, and we've got a great recap this week. We had the number 4 PMC ranked Kansas Wesleyan Coyotes hosting the number 8 PMC ranked Midland Warriors in a high-stakes KCAC matchup on Wednesday night. K-Dub is on absolute fire this season with a 13-1 record heading into this one, while Midland is coming off of a tough loss to Southwestern last week and are definitely looking to bounce back from that one. With that all being said, let's go ahead and jump right into this recap. Starting off in the first quarter here, it is Midland ball to start off the game, 1st and 6. Midland's QB Angel Ione Kayo's pass on the out route on first down is dropped. And then on second down, Ione Kayo was under heavy pressure, and her pass is incomplete. On 3rd and 6, Kansas Wesleyan rushes 2, but Ione Kayo is able to find Alea Livingston at the last second to get them the first down. 1st and 19 now, Jocelyn Lopez runs it, but is stopped for a loss of 2 yards by Ans Diane Rabano. 2nd and 21 here, as Ione Kayo's pass to the sideline is overthrown. On 3rd and long, a deep pass over the middle is nearly caught, but the Warriors will end up punting here. It is 1st and 15 for the Coyotes to start their first drive of the game following the punt. The Coyotes QB Chihiro Iwata finds Kieran DeQuee on a curl route for a 6-yard gain on the first play of the drive. And then on 2nd and 9, it is a quick out to Jada Wilson along the sideline for 4 yards. 3rd and 9 here for the Coyotes. Iwata steps up under pressure and finds Jasmine Whitfield in stride for a K-Dub first down. 1st and 15 now across midfield as Iwata launches one deep, and it is Jada Wilson who makes an amazing catch for a huge gain to put the Coyotes in the red zone for the first time today. 1st and 9 now, and Iwata finds Angel Roman in stride, and Roman tiptoes her way along the sideline into the end zone for a Coyote touchdown. Jada Wilson caught the PAT, so Kansas Wesleyan now has the lead 7-0 with 5:46 left here in the first quarter. 3rd and 6 now for Midland as they prepare to answer here, but the Warriors unfortunately would be ending up to punt here after some big plays on defense and a sack from Ans Diane Rabano, who made a clutch play on 3rd down to force the punt. Kansas Wesleyan ball now, 1st and 19 following the punt. Michaela Nunez immediately gets the flagpole on a quick out for a gain of only 1. And then on 2nd down, Iwata is flushed out right by Lila Izalde, but she keeps her eyes ahead and finds Tori, I still don't know how to pronounce this, Lauderchick along the sideline to get the Coyotes a first down across midfield. Great improvising there from Iwata and Lauderchick. Iwata then finds Kieran DeQuee on a curl route to make it 2nd and 9. On 2nd down, Iwata's bullet pass is thrown behind the receiver, and then on 3rd and 9, Iwata narrowly avoids a sack and keeps it, but her flag is pulled right near the first down. And that takes us to the end of the first quarter. Kansas Wesleyan leads Midland 7-0 early on in this one. It is 4th and 2 here for the Coyotes to start off the second quarter. Iwata fires a pass that is caught by Jada Wilson to give the Coyotes the clutch first down into the red zone. 1st and 15 here, Iwata shows off some athleticism as she scrambles for a gain of 9 yards. 2nd and 6 here, Chihiro Iwata avoids a sack and flicks a beautiful pass across her body to Angel Roman in the end zone for a Kansas Wesleyan touchdown, and that gives Roman and Iwata 2 touchdown connections here just in the first half. I have no idea how Iwata was able to avoid the sack and immediately make that pass despite moving backwards there. The extra point is dropped, so Kansas Wesleyan now leads 13-0 with 10:47 left in the half. 1st and 6 here for Midland as they really need a score here. A check down pass to Jocelyn Lopez is stopped for a gain of only 1, and then on 2nd down, a deep pass along the sideline gets batted down. 3rd and 5 here for the Warriors. Ione Kayo dumps off to Sydney Red for her first catch of the game and a first down for the Warriors. 1st and 16 now, Ione Kayo's first down pass is overthrown, and then on 2nd down, an out to Olivia Dominguez-Millsop gives them 4 yards. 3rd and 12 now, a check down to Jocelyn Lopez gives them 5 yards as the Kansas Wesleyan secondary continues to lock up. 4th and 7 here for the Warriors as they decide to go for it here. Ione Kayo takes the snap, rolls to her right as her pass over the middle is deflected by Angel Roman to force the incompletion and turnover on downs. Great game here on both sides for Roman. 1st and 13 now for the Coyotes across midfield to start their drive. Iwata checks down to Nakia Lloyd for a short gain, and then on 2nd down, Iwata steps up and throws a dangerous pass that falls incomplete. Illegal contact on that play makes it 2nd and 20. On 2nd and long, Iwata throws an absolute beauty to Jasmine Whitfield to negate that penalty and give the Coyotes a first down in the red zone. 1st and 19 now, the slant pass is dropped, and then on 2nd down, it's another incomplete pass. 3rd and 20 here for K-Dub. Iwata finds Kieran DeQuee on a curl route to make it 4th and 14 as the Kansas Wesleyan offense sets up to go for it here. On 4th and 14, Iwata's pass to the end zone is overthrown for a turnover on downs. Midland takes over now, 1st and 6 with less than 3 minutes to go in the half. It is an option pitch to Alea Livingston that is shut down right away at the line of scrimmage on first down. And then on 2nd and 6, Ione Kayo takes the snap and throws one over the middle under pressure, and it is picked off by Angel Roman to give Kansas Wesleyan the ball in the red zone with 2 minutes left in the half. But offsetting penalties on both squads makes it a replay of 2nd down. Midland got absolutely bailed out there, as that would have been a back-breaking interception. 2nd and 6 again here, as Ione Kayo's pass is picked off by none other than Angel Roman on the very next play following the penalty, as she goes untouched into the end zone for a back-breaking pick 6. What a crazy series of events there, as Angel Roman now has 2 receiving touchdowns and that pick 6 just now, just in the first half. Roman now has 5 interceptions on the season. It was Roman again on the extra point to put Kansas Wesleyan up 20-0 with 1:52 left in the half. Midland would get the ball here, desperate to get a score. Angel Ione Kayo finds Alyssa Butler on an out route for a nice gain in first down. And on 1st and 16, the pass is incomplete. And then on 2nd down, Ione Kayo is flushed out right and tracked down by Kylie Douglas for a sack and a loss of a yard. 3rd and long here as the check down to Jocelyn Lopez goes for a short gain, and the Warriors will be forced to punt again here. It is 1st and 10 here for the Coyotes with 25 seconds left in the half following the punt. The deep pass on a curl route is overthrown, and then on 2nd down we have some trickery here as Awada throws a screen and the receiver throws it back to Awada, and Awada launches it deep to an absolutely wide open Kieran DeQuee, but the pass is overthrown. That definitely would have put the Coyotes up 26-0, but instead it is 3rd and 10 with just 10 seconds left here. Awada on 3rd down launches a beauty to Angel Roman on a deep post route to put the Coyotes into the red zone, however. Roman is having a ridiculous first half as Kansas Wesleyan calls timeout with 4 seconds left in the half. Coming out of the timeout, Awada's pass to the end zone is out of reach, and that takes us to the end of the first half. Kansas Wesleyan has a commanding 20-0 lead over Midland heading into halftime. It is 1st and 6 for Kansas Wesleyan in the 3rd quarter as they try to add to their big lead here to start the half. The first down pass from Chihiro Awada is to Jasmine Whitfield on a short crosser to give them a first down. 1st and 19 now, Awada hits Winfield again in stride on a slant for a big gain near midfield. On 2nd and 4, it is a rough deep pass that is nearly picked by Alyssa Butler, but pass interference on the receiver there makes it 2nd and 14. Awada keeps it on 2nd down for a gain of 7, and then on 3rd down, Awada is nearly sacked, but gets rid of it for an incomplete pass. Kansas Wesleyan will punt it now for the first time in this game. 1st and 13 for Midland following a booming punt. A short pass over the middle to the center, Mayana Seigers gets Midland 4 yards, and then on 2nd down, a slant to Alyssa Butler makes it 3rd and 2. On 3rd down, Angel Ione Kayo finds Emily Farron on the halfback swing for a first down. 1st and 18 now, Ione Kayo steps up and finds Alyssa Butler over the middle for a gain of 7. And then on 2nd down, pass interference gives Midland 10 yards and an automatic first down. 1st and 1 here for the Warriors. A handoff to Sydney Red gives the Warriors the first down. 1st and 19 here, Emily Farron makes the catch on an out route for a solid gain. And then on 2nd down, the pass falls incomplete. 3rd and 11 now as Kansas Wesleyan calls timeout with 5:14 left in the 3rd quarter. Ione Kayo finds Alyssa Butler on a quick out for a 5-yard gain coming out of the timeout to make it 4th and 6 as Midland sets up to go for it here. On 4th down, Ione Kayo steps up and hits a wide open Olivia Dominguez Millsop over the middle for a big gain into the red zone. 1st and 6 here for Midland. Ione Kayo finds Sydney Red over the middle and nearly gets the touchdown, but it is now 2nd and 1 for the Warriors. On 2nd down, Ione Kayo steps up and finds Alea Livingston in the back of the end zone for a Midland touchdown. The score is now 20-6 following a dropped extra point with 3:07 left in the third quarter. 1st and 6 for Kansas Wesleyan following the touchdown. Chihiro Awada rolls right and checks it down to Angel Roman for a first down. 1st and 20 here. Awada evades pressure and finds Kelsey Tucker for a 6-yard gain. Kansas Wesleyan calls timeout here with 1:40 left in the quarter. The second down pass out of the timeout is incomplete, but offsetting penalties will make it a repeat of 2nd and 14. On 2nd down, Awada checks down to Jayla Howes for a decent gain, and then on 3rd and 8, Awada's throw over the middle falls incomplete as Kansas Wesleyan will punt it here. It is 1st and 8 following the punt, and that takes us to the end of the third quarter. Kansas Wesleyan leads Midland 20-6, heading into the final quarter of the game. It is 1st and 8 for Midland to start the fourth quarter. The first down slant is dropped, and then on 2nd down, the pass on the out route is once again dropped. 3rd and 8 here for the Warriors as Ione Kayo finds Sydney Red for a decent gain that gets them near midfield. Midland goes for it here on 4th and 2 as Ione Kayo's pass over the middle is broken up by Angel Roman, who came out of absolutely nowhere to make that huge stop. Angel Roman has now forced all 3 turnovers in this game between the pick 6 and the turnover on downs, and then she has also scored all 3 touchdowns for the Coyotes. Did someone say player of the game? 1st and 18 now for K-Dub to start the drive with less than 10 minutes remaining in the game. The first down pass on the quick out is incomplete, and then on 2nd down, Awada is flushed out right and has a receiver open across the field, but the throw across Awada's body falls short. 3rd and 18 for the Coyotes now as Awada's pass over the middle is incomplete. Kansas Wesleyan decides to go for it here, surprisingly. Awada takes the snap and has great protection as she launches one deep, but tight coverage from Alea Livingston forces the turnover on downs. It is 1st and 2 near midfield for Midland with just over 7 minutes left in the game. A quick pass over the middle to Mayana Sigers gives the Warriors a first down, and then on 1st and 18, Ione Kayo hits Alyssa Butler in stride for a decent gain. 2nd and 11 now, Ione Kayo has Alea Livingston open along the sideline to give them just short of the first down. 3rd and 3 now, Ione Kayo scrambles, steps up, and launches one on the run to an open receiver, but the pass falls incomplete. A snap infraction flag on Midland makes it go from 4th and 3 to now 4th and 8. They still go for it though, obviously, as Ione Kayo overthrows a wide open Olivia Dominguez Millsop in the end zone, but an illegal contact penalty on Kansas Wesleyan saves the Midland offense and gives them a first down into the red zone with around 4 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game. On 1st and 18, a dangerous pass is nearly picked by Nikayla Howard, and then on 2nd down, a beautiful touchdown pass in the end zone is dropped. 3rd and 18 now for Midland. Ione Kayo's pass to the end zone is overthrown. Midland calls timeout here with 2:46 left in the game to decide what to do on 4th and 18. Coming out of the timeout, Ione Kayo steps up and launches one to the end zone, but the pass is tipped by Angel Roman and caught by Nikayla Howard for a game-ending interception. Kansas Wesleyan gets the 20-6 conference win over Midland on the back of an incredible game from Angel Roman. The Kansas Wesleyan Coyotes with an absolute masterclass win in this one. Your PMC playmaker of the game has to go to Angel Roman, who scored all 3 K-Dub touchdowns, and she also forced all 4 turnovers on defense. So just an all-around monster performance from her, and definitely one that could get her playmaker of the week. It was another dominant game from Chihiro Awada as well. She had a great command all game, and I don't think she was sacked at all either. Kansas Wesleyan didn't punt until the third quarter, and that is large in part to Awada being an absolute stud out there at QB. Great win for the Coyotes as they move on to 14-1 on the year. As for the Midland Warriors, I feel like that was just a pretty sloppy game from them, especially on offense. Between the drops and the overthrows, The Warriors were just flat out unable to get much going on that side of the ball. This game could have been a lot worse than 20-6, so I think it's best that they just forget about this game and get ready for Cottey on Saturday. That about wraps up this Wednesday night recap. This is Gino with the Playmakers Corner podcast, and I will catch you all in the next recap. Peace out.
All right, hopping into this next game here, we have a game from April 11th. That's a Thursday. We had number 12, Florida Memorial, going to number 18 Point to play them. This wasn't a super eventful game, so I'll just cover the main events here. Here in the first quarter, FMU would get on the board with a throw from Taimaru Santos to Avion Roll here to make it 6-0. And that was in the second quarter, actually, there. So there you go. No PAT on that one, so it would stay 6-0 for a while. Both offenses and defenses, I should say this, both offenses struggling, defenses looking good at times by not allowing them to score. And so nothing would really happen until really late here in the fourth quarter. Well, here's what happens. It looks like that Point would drive past midfield, and then they would stall out before they got into the red zone. It would be a turnover on downs. Then FMU would get the ball, but they would not be able to get a first down. Wouldn't go 3 and out because they didn't punt it, but they would go 4 and out with a turnover on downs. And so from there, Point would take over and they would begin to march down the field here. Now, a key play that would happen, Maddie Motts at quarterback would try to throw the ball to Jordan Palmer, but she kind of got knocked down a little bit. It was a little bit of an aggressive play, and so a penalty was thrown against FMU here. Surprise, surprise. I think it had to have been another personal foul. I don't know if it was necessarily PI, but I think there was maybe something a little bit extra there. And what sucks as well is that Palmer was on the floor for a bit as she was injured and would have to come out of the game. But, you know, that would give Point some great starting position. I believe that would actually put them in the red zone here. And then a couple plays later, here's what would happen. Maddie Motts gets a snap and then races towards the right sideline here, recognizes that it's in man, and so all her receivers kind of clear out the right side, and she beats the closest defender to that edge and scores to tie this game at 6-6. And then going into the PAT with a chance to potentially take the lead, the first one of the day here, Jordan Palmer would go back in here. Mind you, she was out a couple plays being hurt, and then on the PAT, Motts gets a snap, kind of bobbles it a little bit, and then rolls left almost towards the rusher here before it looks like she throws it with 2 hands towards Palmer, who kind of just stops on a hitch in the middle of the end zone, and Palmer grabs this one, brings it in, falls on it, and goes ahead and gets them the PAT to go up 7-6 here. A wild change of events. That PAT probably shouldn't have been converted at all, but, you know, a lot of credit to Motts for handling that snap and then getting it to Palmer here, who, you know, was able to bring it in under good coverage, honestly. And so FMU, they would actually still have a chance to score, and they would get past midfield once more, but it would come down to a 4th down here, and Santos, she would drop back and try to throw it towards the left side. It looks like it was either a skinny post or a seam, but Maddie Motts just kind of jumps this route and knocks it out of the way. If she wasn't there, it would have completed probably for a touchdown in the lead. And so Maddie Motts making some game-winning plays down the line here to go ahead and give Point a tough win on their senior night, by the way. They have a couple of seniors over there, so congrats to them. But Point would defeat FMU 7-6 in an upset win here. Player of the game obviously has to be Maddie Motts. I do have some stats here. Let's start with Point. Maddie Motts, 17 of 23, 62 yards, no touchdowns, and that 1 interception here in this game. But you did run for 5 attempts for 29 yards and a touchdown, one of those being the game-tying one, obviously. Jordan Palmer was the lead receiver, 6 receptions, 20 yards here. Not a whole ton going on there. Like I said, both offenses were kind of struggling, or you could say defenses were playing well, but to me it looked like they were both struggling. On defense, for a point, Lainey Grace Benefield, who has, by the way, been having a great season, super productive in every game, led this team once more with 8 total flagpoles, 2 breakups. Jalea Kelly had a sack in this game, and then, yeah, I believe that is it. No turnovers forced by this squad here. So there you go. That's point for Florida Memorial. Taimalu Santos, not a bad game, but definitely could have played better. 18 of 29 for 88 yards and only 1 touchdown, no picks. Had negative 11 yards, but I think that has to be her getting sacked as well. Alexis Nelson, 4 attempts for 21 yards. Diamond Mays was their lead receiver, 7 receptions, 33 yards. Erica Johnson, 6 for 22. Avion Roll, only 2 receptions for 14, and one of those being a touchdown there. On defense for them, Erica Johnson led the team with 4 tackles. Actually, there were 4 players with 4 here. Erica Johnson, Jennifer Bevel, Perla Batista, and Avion Roll each had 4. Roll having a sack as well in this one. Vanessa Queen would also grab an interception in this game too, but unfortunately, this defensive effort wasn't enough. And honestly, defense, let's go ahead and hop into our reactions here. For FMU, their defense played well, per usual here. Offensively, noticed some faces that came back from what I could only assume was a suspension or something. They weren't playing for obvious reasons here after that incident a couple weeks ago. And, they just continue to struggle. I mean, look, got on the board early, but then just could not score after that, including that last drive where they had a chance. It looked like they had some time there, but, just couldn't convert on that 4th down. It was like 4th and 12, 4th and 10 on that last one. So it would have been a tough play to convert on, but still, for FMU, I'm just going to be honest, this is a much bigger team than Point. They have a lot more experience. This is a really bad loss. Just being honest with you. This is a really bad loss for them. Just kind of felt like they got unfocused once more. There's some bad plays. That play with Palmer and whatnot, that would extend that drive and give Point a lot of yards, which wasn't an offense that was moving the ball extremely well. I mean, like I said in the recap, they literally just stalled out in basically that exact same spot, drive before. And, for a defense to do that, you can't. You just can't, obviously, and that gave them some momentum going into this game, and, that was that. And so for FMU, a lot of questions still, I would say still about the coaching staff, players as well. Honestly, you can't, I don't think you could drop a game like this against a first-year program and not get criticized there. So there you go. They continue to struggle. 4 Point, a first-year program, but they're a tough program. I'm going to give them this, maybe not the most players and whatnot, but they're a gritty program, and I do like their play style here. They always have been, I feel. They always have been, and so they were able to get this win on senior night. And, it wasn't the cleanest looking game at all. But, hey, a win is a win. They got it done. You got to feel good about that. You got to feel good about Jordan Palmer getting injured and then coming back in and making the game-winning play there. Technically, the game-winning play to go ahead and give them that lead. And so that's obviously big time. With Maddie Mott, she made a lot of big plays down that stretch that you absolutely got to love as well. So there you go there. Big ups to Point. This is a game that they probably shouldn't have won, honestly. They were 18. FMU was 12. But they found a way to get it done. So there you go there. Point wins over FMU 7-6.
What is good, y'all? Gino here with the Playmakers Corner podcast, and I am here to give you all a little recap of what went down in the game between the number 13 PMC-ranked Life Running Eagles versus the number 14 PMC-ranked Milligan Buffaloes in a non-conference matchup from this Thursday, April 11th. Both of these squads are looking to find a groove here late in the season, so let's go ahead and find out what happened in this game. The stream unfortunately started at some point in the second quarter, so I was unable to see both of Milligan's first touchdowns, But we are now in the second quarter, and Milligan has a 13-0 lead to start this recap. Life ball to start off the stream, 1st and 6. A screen pass on first down gets them near the first, and then on second down, the QB, Kamiah Graves, sneaks it up the middle for a first down. On 1st and 18, Graves rolls right and finds the center 17, who's still not on the roster for some reason, open over the middle, and then 17 pitches it back to Akira Brathwaite for a big gain near midfield. And Brathwaite tried to pitch it again there, but her pitch went forward, so that will take away 5 yards from that big gain. 2nd and 7 here after the flag, as Grave hits Altiera Gooch on a short crosser for a couple yards, and then on 3rd down, a screen to Jayla Wright gets them right near midfield. 4th and 2 now. Life will be going for it here as Graves tried to find Jayla Wright, but the pass is batted down by Abby Lynn Laprise to force a turnover on downs. Milligan ball now, 1st and 18 to start their drive. A screen to Michaela Davis goes for a nice gain, plus a hold on the flagpole gives Milligan a huge gain and first down into the red zone. 1st and 15 here for Milligan now. A short pass gets them a yard or two, and then on second down, the QB, Bridget Keiser, rolls left and finds Michaela Davis for a few more yards. 3rd and 8 now for Milligan. A flag on the pass makes it 3rd and 3. On 3rd down, Ashton Weirley takes the snap and runs it up the gut and reaches across for a Milligan Buffalo touchdown. Milligan leads now 19-0 here in the middle of the second quarter. Life ball now, 1st and 6 as they try to get on the board here. Kamiah Graves keeps it for a nice gain and pitches it back to Akira Brathwaite for even more yards to give Life the first down. 1st and 8 here, Jazz Wiggleton gets good pressure and forces an incompletion. And then on second down, the second QB, Jayla Wright, gets it and lobs it over the middle to 17. And after like 3 backwards pitches, Life is now down near midfield. 3rd and 2 now. A screen to Jayla Wright gets Life the first down across midfield. 1st and 15 here. Graves is flushed out right and hits Jayla Wright on a short pass, and Wright takes that for a solid gain. On 2nd and 9, Graves keeps it for about 6 yards, and then on 3rd down, Milligan rushes 2, but Graves is still able to find Altiera Gooch under pressure for a big gain into the red zone. 1st and 6 now, Graves rolls right and hits Jayla Wright for a near touchdown. On 2nd and short, Graves hits Wright again for 1 more yard to put Life even closer to the end zone. 3rd and very short here. Kamiah Graves takes the snap and sneaks it in for the Life Running Eagles touchdown. And that puts Life on the board late here in the first half. The score is now 19-6 late in the first half. Milligan ball now, 1st and 6 as they try and add to their lead. Bridget Keiser keeps the read option and takes it for a first down. 1st and 13 now for Milligan. A short crosser to Chloe Jackson gets them a few yards as Milligan calls timeout. On 2nd and 9 following the timeout, Keiser is somehow not sacked and is able to hit Michaela Davis for another nice gain to put Milligan near midfield. 3rd and 1 now, Keiser keeps a read option and reaches across for the first down as Milligan calls another timeout. 1st and 18 following the timeout, Keiser rolls left and spikes a check down after Life nearly got the sack. 2nd and 18 here, Keiser's pass is batted down by Michaela Morgan. And then on 3rd down, Keiser steps up and nails a wide open Ashton Weirley along the sideline for a big time first down into the red zone. 1st and 9 here for Milligan. Keiser's pass falls incomplete, and then on 2nd down, a check down pass is dropped. On 3rd and 9, Keiser takes the snap, rolls to her left, and hits Caitlin Quinn near the end zone as Milligan calls their 3rd and final timeout of the half. 4th and very short near the end zone following the timeout. Keiser takes the snap and is nearly sacked as a weak pass falls incomplete to force a big-time turnover on downs. 1st and 9 for Life on the edge of their end zone following the defensive stand. Kamiah Graves takes the snap and is flushed out right, and her pass is picked off by Abby Lynn Laprise to put Milligan right back where they just were. 1st and 1 on the edge of the end zone following that big-time interception from Laprice. The first down pass in the end zone falls incomplete, and then on second down, Bridget Keiser keeps it and runs it in herself to add to the Milligan lead. The extra point is good, so Milligan now has a 26-6 commanding lead as we close in on halftime. 1st and 6 for life as they look to tie this one up, but Kamaya Graves just kneels it to send us to halftime as Milligan is dominating life 26-6 at the end of the first half. Third quarter now, it is life ball coming out of halftime, 1st and 6. Destiny Johnson nearly gets the sack and forces a bad pass that falls incomplete, and then on second down, a quick hitter gets them a couple yards. On 3rd and 3, Graves fakes right and finds a receiver along the sideline for a nice gain and first down. On 1st and 9, a quick hitter to 17 as she pitches it back to Altiera Gooch for a few more yards to make it 2nd and 5. On second down, Graves is flushed out of the pocket, and her pass is picked off by Jazz Wiggleton to give the ball back to Milligan. 1st and 4 near midfield for Milligan following that interception from Wiggleton. On first down, Bridget Keiser hits Caitlin Quinn on a curl route for the first down across midfield. On 1st and 19, a check down to Michaela Davis gets them a few yards, and then on second down, Keiser rolls left and finds Caitlin Quinn for about 5 yards. On 3rd and 9, the center, Ashley Ferreira, is open over the middle and takes it into the red zone for a Milligan first down. 1st and 12 now, a flag on Milligan pushes them back 5, and then on 1st and 17, a short pass to Michaela Davis gets them those yards back. 2nd and 9 here, a nice pass to the back of the end zone is just barely dropped, and then on 3rd down, a screen to Caitlin Quinn gets them a few more yards. 4th and 6 for Milligan as Keiser takes the snap, rolls right under pressure, and her throw across her body falls incomplete for a turnover on downs. 1st and 11 for life to start their drive. Kamaya Graves has great protection as she finds an open 12 who is also not on life's roster for about 7 yards. And then on second down, a series of pitches gets them right near the first down. 3rd and short here as Graves keeps it and runs it right for a first down. 1st and 17 for life. Good protection allows Graves to take a keeper right for 5 yards. And then on second down, a series of pitches gets them only 1 more yard. 3rd and 10 now, a screen to Jayla Wright gets them a big-time first down across midfield. 1st and 19 for life. Graves keeps it for a gain of about 6. And then on second down, Graves' pass is overthrown. And that takes us to the end of the third quarter. Milligan still leads 26-6 heading into the final quarter of the game. 3rd and 13 for life to start the fourth quarter. Kamaya Graves rolls right and finds Altiera Gooch for a big-time first down into the red zone. 1st and 19 here, Graves checks it down to the center 17 for about a yard, and then on second down, Graves throws it to a receiver with their back turned as it falls incomplete there. 3rd and 17 now, as a bad snap pushes life back about 5 yards to basically shut down a hopeful drive. 4th and 22 here for the running Eagles. Graves throws it to the second QB, Jayla Wright, and Wright tries to throw it back to Graves, but that pass falls short for a turnover on downs. 1st and 8 for Milligan to start their drive here. A halfback swing to Kiara Guzman-Sagapoulou gets Milligan across midfield for a first down. 1st and 16 now for Milligan. Another halfback swing to Guzman-Sagapoulou is dropped, and then on second down, a short pass to Ashton Weirley goes for a few yards, but a holding penalty on the flagpole makes it 2nd and 3. Bridget Keiser rolls right on second down and nails Caitlin Quinn on a post route deep into the red zone for a first down. On 1st and 10, Altiera Gooch bats down a pass in the end zone, and then on second down, Keiser hits an open Abby Lynn Laprice for a big gain near the end zone. 3rd and very short here for Milligan, as pass interference on the next snap gives Milligan a fresh set of downs at the 1 yard line. On first down, a touchdown pass is somehow dropped, and then on second down here, Bridget Keiser somehow avoids a sack and runs it in for the Milligan touchdown. Milligan now has a commanding 34-6 lead after the extra point late in the game here. 1st and 6 for life following the score. A check down pass is dropped, and then on second down, a pass along the sideline falls incomplete. 3rd and 6 here for life. A quick pass to Jayla Wright gets them the first down. And then on 1st and 14, Kamaya Graves has great protection, rolls to her right, and finds Akira Brathwaite in stride down the sideline for a much-needed massive gain into the red zone. An injury timeout here for Milligan following that play. And after the injury timeout, Graves takes a keeper for about 4 yards. And then on second down, Graves rolls right and hits Jayla Wright for 5 more yards. 3rd and 9 here for life. Graves' pass to an open receiver somehow dropped. And then on 4th down, Kamaya Graves hits Altiera Gooch in stride in the end zone for a touchdown late in the 4th quarter. The score is now 34-12 following that touchdown late in this one. And that would be our final score in this one as Milligan takes down Life 34-12 in a rainy Sun Conference matchup. The Milligan Buffaloes get a big-time bounce-back win here to get back on track. Wins like this late in the season are always a good thing for struggling teams. And yeah, hopefully this win can give the Buffaloes some much-needed momentum heading into the end of the year and the off-season. I really liked what I saw from Abby Lynn Laprice, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I also thought that Bridget Keiser played a solid game, despite being in some not-so-ideal conditions for a quarterback or really any position with the rain and everything. Jazz Wiggleton had a great game as well on the defensive side of the ball. She was definitely making plays all game. Overall, this was a really good win for the Buffaloes and easily one of their best wins of the season. As for the Life Running Eagles, they really struggled early on in this game and basically throughout the entire game. They don't have a play style that allows them to play very well from behind, so it was basically wraps for them once they went down 3 scores. I still like what this team has for the future though, especially with players like Altiera Gooch out there, who is an absolute dog at receiver and defensive back. Life has a tough schedule ahead in Week 10, so it will be interesting to see how they respond. And that officially wraps up this Thursday night recap. This is Gino with the Playmakers Corner podcast, and I will see you in the next recap where we check out what happened in the KCAC championship between Kansas Wesleyan and Ottawa. Peace out.
Real quick, let me go ahead and talk about Weber versus Campbellsville. You know, this wasn't a super close game here. This was senior day, by the way, for the Weber Warriors. They had a couple there, 4 seniors to be exact here. And, you know, Weber would get out to a pretty fast start here. After the first drives for both of them would not work out, Sam Wilson would get Weber on the board here on a 7-yard rushing touchdown to get them started. Following that, she would find Caitlin Sigmundy for a touchdown. Then Cheyenne Durand would get an interception to set up a Jasmine Henry receiving touchdown. And then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Riley Balser also got in there for a receiving touchdown. They're up 27-0 at half, and so that was basically it for them. Weber already winning big. Campbellsville would score eventually on a 73-yard, drive and would punch it in to make it 34-6. But that would basically be it from there. Sigmundy catching that last touchdown from Wilson to get them to 34. As Weber takes care of Campbellsville pretty easily here, 34-6. Now talking about Warner versus Campbellsville, cannot find stats anywhere from this game, but Warner would win this one pretty handedly, 39-0 in Florida. So really not too much to say here. They won as expected.
Hey everybody, the last that you heard from me were on the Wednesday games, and now we're back with some Friday action, April 12, 2024, talking about the Thomas versus St. Thomas game here, which was a big one. Apparently it was Military Appreciation Day, and so, there's plenty of plugs there. Shout out to Corey on awesome calling in this game and this broadcast, and just a well put together game, honestly, for a production standpoint. And now let's talk about the game itself, because that's why y'all are here, because this is a top 5 or 6 matchup here between these two squads. And so Thomas, the Nighthawks that is, are to start with the ball, and immediately this is going to be a great indication for just how well this game is going to go for them, as they get a first down on the very first play here with a pass to Keira Knight here. Now on 1st and 15, Wilson keeps it herself and gets to the 38-yard line after not seeing any receivers that she is confident in making the throw to. And now on 2nd and 2, there's a pass right, but that is going to be incomplete. But on 3rd down here, they get a pass to Aaliyah Wood, who makes the catch here for a 1st down. Now on 1st and 18, Wilson throws and Giselle Jones makes a break on the ball and almost rips the ball out here, but unfortunately the ball falls harmlessly to the turf. And that's a great, actually contest, my apologies, by Quincy Jones, that is, of STU here, almost forcing an early turnover here. But on 2nd down here, there's a pass that is complete to Margarita Pena here, who weaves and picks up a few yards. And it is 3rd and 10. The pass is a little low, bringing up 4th down, but they're in plus territory here, and so they're going to go for it. They have trips to the short side of the field, and then a throw right that is batted down by Veronica of St. Thomas McBride, that is, and forcing a turnover on downs. And so STU gets the ball on their own 30-yard line with a few ticks under 7 minutes to go in the first quarter. But the first pass is bobbled and ends up being dropped. And then on 2nd down, there's a pass left to number 5 here. That is Maria Vega, who reels it in and turns upfield for a 1st down to midfield. They then come out and pass right to Jada Graham here, who gains about 4 yards. And then on 2nd and 16, it is a motion with right to left, thrown to the motion player in the flats, and a quick flag pull by Giselle Jones keeps the gain to just 2. It is now 3rd and 14. Thomas shows 2 rushers, but sends 1, and Near throws over the middle where it is easily intercepted by Giselle Jones, giving Thomas the ball on their own 35-yard line with just over 3 minutes to go. Wilson rolls left on 1st down and then sprints ahead, splitting some defenders and keeps chugging along until her flag is pulled at the 22-yard line, showing awesome acceleration and just keeping those hands straight up to the sky. And the prayers are answered with no flag pulls, slowing her down for quite some time. Now, on this next play here, it is a roll right and a fire across the body to the middle of the field, caught by Pena, getting a 1st down into the red zone with just under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. They then motion right to left with Aaliyah Wood, and Wilson rolls left, pumps, and then attacks the middle of the field, picking up another chunk of yards to the 10-yard line, this time using her legs. And then we have motion left to right with Wood, with Wilson going left, showing the ball high, and throwing to the back of the end zone, caught by Giselle Jones for the touchdown on an awesome catch and throw here. And then Wilson finds Brown for the PAT, and Thomas will lead 7-0 with 38.8 seconds to go in the first quarter. Now, STU, they're not trying to score before the quarter ends here, but they are trying to get something going, and they get a throw left into the flats where the pass is almost jumped and intercepted by Thomas here, just narrowly not able to bring it in here. And after that scare, it is followed up by another batted pass from Janae Scott on the rush that ends the first quarter. Now, to start the second quarter, Near is flushed outright and reaches, picking up a 1st down to the 21-yard line, keeping the drive alive. And then on 1st down, Near looks left, then slides right and just keeps it herself, picking up a handful of yards. An incomplete pass on 2nd down forces 3rd and 15 here, and Near will look deep left, but the receiver is absolutely blanketed by Keira Knight, forcing an incompletion and a punt from St. Thomas. And so Thomas now has the ball on the 22-yard line, their 22 that is, with 8 minutes and 12 seconds to go here. Thomas keeps back 2 blockers, and Wilson rolls left, throwing to the boundary, but it is dropped. On 2nd down, the pass is a little low, but still dropped, and it is 3rd down now, and Wilson is looking left and ultimately takes off, getting her flag pulled by number 21 of St. Thomas, who on the roster is listed as Enquincia Jones, once again with the play here. And on 4th down and 5, Thomas lines up like they're going to go for it, trying to get the Bobcats to jump off sides, but they are unsuccessful and will take a timeout with 5:51 left in the first half and will punt. This is a great punt, as STU will start this drive on their own 3-yard line, and they will buy a little bit of room here with a quick pass left to Maya Salas. And on 2nd and 11, Near rolls right and throws right into double coverage that is broken up by Giselle Jones and Aaliyah Wood here. On 3rd down, Thomas brings 2, and the pass is deep right and intercepted by Aaliyah Wood, showing awesome vertical and hands here, bringing in an incredibly outstretched interception. And now the Nighthawks have the football on the 39-yard line going in to the half with about 3 minutes prior to that play here. And so the first play, Wilson is forced out of bounds. And then on the second play, Anquincia Jones almost jumps another pass here, but can't quite reel in the interception. And so the Nighthawks are granted some more life here in his third down with 2 minutes to go in the half on the 29-yard line. Wood motions and Wilson runs right, getting ran out of bounds, setting up 4th and 2. But on 4th and 2, Wilson is able to find Wood, who picks up a first down on a quick pass left. It's now first down in the red zone at the 18-yard line when a run left is pulled at basically the line of scrimmage. And then a very dangerous and bad pass is almost intercepted by STU here. And the Nighthawks, I will say out loud, are getting a little lucky with these drop picks. And the Bobcats are making some serious mistakes here. Now on 3rd and goal, the Nighthawks keep back 2 shadow blockers, giving Wilson time as she rolls right and throws an absolute laser to Nakira Brown here, who gets the touchdown reception. And while the PAT is no good, Thomas does jump out to a 13-0 lead with under a minute to go. STU gets the ball here, and Near evades the rush, but the pass falls incomplete. On 2nd down, she is sacked by Caitlin Herb, and Thomas takes a timeout. On 3rd and 10, Near tries to throw left, but Caitlin Hurd absolutely lifts up out of the air while on the rush, getting up and making the pick right in Near's face and takes it to the promised land with 33.6 seconds left. The Thomas PAT is no good. However, the Nighthawks are still up by 3 scores now, 19-0. And STU is just going to kneel out the rest of this half here, now down with a goose egg 0-19 and looking ahead to their start in the second half. Now, some first half notes here. I think that STU, obviously, a few dropped interceptions are giving the Nighthawks second life and second chances that they're taking advantage of. And then the Nighthawk defense is absolutely rolling here as STU has not even made a trip into the red zone. And Near is just struggling here, and the receivers are struggling to make catches, and they just look a little off here. It is also worth noting that Lanaya Leon's absence is making a huge impact on the Nighthawks' ability to make plays here, and the Bobcats, I'd say incapability of getting a consistent pass rush and sacks going. But I digress here. St. Thomas, like I said, gets to start the second half, and while the first pass is broken up, it doesn't matter because apparently Caitlin Herb got the flagpole for a sack here. Now they shift here on 2nd down and then pass right to Leah Cruz, setting up 3rd and 2. Near then passes left and Salas catches, narrowly getting a first down here. But on the following first down play, Giselle Jones gets a pass breakup, and on 2nd down, Janae Scott gets a sack with a different look, blitzing from that backer position and setting up 3rd and 23 until midfield. And you could probably guess how this drive ends, with it being a punt from the Bobcats here. Thomas gets a solid return by Janae Scott, who gets just outside of the Bobcat red zone before getting her flag pulled. And on first down, Wilson is drifting left with 2 shadow blockers in front of her, and then she cuts back right across the field, picking up a first down and getting it to about the 10 here. I want to say that this was an awesome call by Corey, saying to the left, to the right, take it back now, y'all. I love a little cha-cha slide drop or plug. I don't think I've ever heard it, but it was a fun one here, so shout out to Corey on that one. And then on first down in the red zone here, Wilson looks left, then right, and drops the ball into a wide open Nakira Brown, who is waiting and makes the catch in the end zone. And this just looks like a blown coverage here, as she was so open. And Thomas is now up 26-0 following the pass to Margarita Pena from Kiana Acole here. Now, STU down by 26 with 5:17 to go in the third. They have got to get something going, and so they go to one of their prime playmakers here with a pass over the middle to Jada Graham, who gets a first down and some more. Now it is first down and 10 to midfield, and Near checks down, and that'll pick up about 5 yards, setting up 2nd and 5. There's a quick pass and flagpole by Scott that keeps the Bobcats short of the sticks, and after an incompletion on 3rd down, it is 4th and 2 with 2 minutes left to go in the third quarter, and the Bobcats really don't have a choice here, and they have to go for it with Near pumping and then dropping the pass to a wide open receiver past midfield. And after the catch, it will draw an illegal contact penalty as well. And all of a sudden, the Bobcats are knocking on the red zone door here. And there is a throw left that is also caught for a first down. And apparently, according to Corey here, it was the Bobcats' first time in the red zone today, which is super tough, but I don't think that the Bobcats want to leave empty-handed here because there's an absolute laser over the middle to Jada Graham that is caught and quickly pulled by Janae Scott. But on second down here, Thomas brings 2 rushers on STU's rollout, and Near makes the smart play here, throwing it where nobody can get it. And that will end the third quarter here. We'll start the fourth quarter with third down and goal. That's a quick passing catch. And now the Bobcats have another very important fourth down and goal here, and they're going to take a timeout and get their bearings together here. On fourth down, Near, snap, winds up, and then finds Miller over the middle. It's Miller time here for the score, getting STU on the board for the first time today with 11:17 on the clock here. The PAT is no good, and now St. Thomas is trailing 26-6, and Thomas kind of has St. Thomas right where they want them as far as in their bleed the clock mode here. They get the ball back with 11 minutes to go, and Wilson passes right, picking up a few, then looks left and eventually rolls left, dotting up Pena downfield for a first down here, setting up 1st and 6 with just a tick under 10 minutes to go. Wilson then finds Wood for a first down past midfield. I'm like, oh, hey, they're picking up first downs a little too quick if they're trying to bleed out the whole thing here. But regardless, getting gains is a good thing here, and it's looking nice and easy for the Hawks here. And on their next play, Wilson rolls left and finds Pena, who picks up about 6, setting up 2nd and 10. That's followed up with a check down to Kiana Akol that picks up about 4, and it is now 3rd and 6. Wilson throws left to Jones, who makes a nice catch, just narrowly breaking into the red zone, and they are just clicking along here. It looks like they are en route to scoring over 30 points in this football game here, as it is now 1st and goal with almost 7 minutes to go in the ball game. But the first 2 plays here combined for only 1 yard, and then on third down, there is a sack here by Cameron Campbell here. It is the first sack by the Bobcats all day here, as Wilson has been killing them with her legs. And, I was like, oh, hey, it's a, double same first letter, last name here kind of deal here with CC making the play instead of LL. But Lanaya Leon's missing or absence in this game cannot be overstated. But either way, it forces 4th down, where they have an orbit motion that is thrown back to Alexa Wilson, who waits way too long to throw it, giving the Bobcats a chance to bat it away and force a turnover on downs. If Wilson gets this pass off faster, it is for sure a touchdown, as the misdirection had the STU defense kind of in shambles. But regardless, the defense recovers and now has just under 4 minutes to go with a few yards until their first down. Near keeps it herself and takes off for the first down. And then on first down, past their own 20, there's a dump off to her tailback that picks up about 5. It is 2nd and 11 here when the 2-minute warning comes upon us, and Near rolls right and throws downfield to Leah Cruz, who makes a catch in the red zone here. It is now 1st and goal from about the 18-yard line. There's an incompletion and catch in back-to-back, which sets up 3rd and goal. Near throws left, and it is going to be intercepted by Hoagland here, who does not get her flag pulled prior to midfield, and that will end this ball game here. Just some notes for STU. I mean, it's very obvious that if Lanaya Leon is not in this lineup for the Sun Conference Tournament or Nationals, I feel like they're cooked, honestly. This team was virtually unrecognizable. On offense, they just had no explosive plays and just had some very unfortunate plays here. Caitlin Herb, she is like that on the Thomas side, and so for her pick 6 to happen the way it did was just brutal. But there was not a ton of separation from the receivers. They had to be patient, and picking up 3 or 4 yards at a time is just not going to get you first downs, where every 20 yards is where you need to get. So St. Thomas definitely has some soul searching to do heading back into this week, following a season where they were way more competitive in the likes of this Sun Conference competition, and we'll see how they look health-wise heading into both the Sun Conference tournament as well as the national tournament. But that's kind of been the name of the game for this Bobcat team that has been pretty unlucky as far as injuries go the past few seasons. As for Thomas, this is a high-quality win that almost had me push them into the number 2 spot here. I think that they are in prime position to contend even for the Sun Conference tournament. They only have 1 game remaining prior to, the Sun Conference tournament here in a bit. And yeah, I think, like I said, they're just in a great position to push here. And if they get the kind of offense that they had today that's even a bit functional, and they bring that to the likes of a Warner or Keiser game, they're going to be in an awesome spot. But that is Thomas beating St. Thomas 26-6.
All right, now going to the Saturday games here from April 13th. We had Florida Memorial versus Thomas here. I believe this was at Thomas. And just being honest, this was not a close game at all after the first quarter, that is. Thomas would end up winning 52-0, so I just got a box score to go over here, basically. Lexa Wilson, 15 of 20, 149 yards, 4 touchdowns, super efficient in this one. Tara Lorente got a lot of snaps in this one, 7 of 17, 56 yards, and a touchdown there. On the ground, Lorente led with 36 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns, by the way, on 3 attempts. As far as receiving goes, Aaliyah Wood had a great game here. 6 receptions, 50 yards, 3 touchdowns, the hat trick. Giselle Jones adding 4 receptions, 48 yards, and a touchdown there. Isabel Deopice, I want to say, she had a receiving touchdown in this one. The Thomas defense obviously played well. Janae Scott with 5 tackles, an interception, and a breakup. Emily Sudin, I want to say, 2 tackles and a sack. And by the way, I think it's Emilia Sudin. Excuse me, I think I said that wrong there. So there you go there. Couple other things. Caitlin Herb had a sack in this game. Geez, a lot of interceptions in this one. Like I said, Janae Scott had one. Aaliyah Wood, I believe, had a pick 6. It says 64 yards here. Had to have been a pick 6 there. Giselle Jones with a pick. Maddie Hoagland with a pick. Nakara Brown with 2 picks. And then Zoe Jackson with an interception in this one, as this defense was feasting here. For FMU, struggles continue. Tamalu Santos, 8 of 27 for 50 yards and 8 interceptions. She had as many completions as interceptions. Not great. 23 rushing yards on 6 attempts. Diamond Mays, 2 receptions for 16. Deja Fanning, 3 of 15. They could not get anything going, as this offense just does not look good. For FMU, their defense, they had some plays here. Vanessa Queen with 7. Jennifer Bevel, Deja Fanning, and Diamond Mays each with 4. Mays with a sack here. Deja Fanning with 3 breakups, by the way. So there you go there. As FMU could not hang with Thomas. Thomas wins 52-0. All right, continuing with the games from Saturday, we got number 10 Baker playing number 11 Southwestern, 2 first-year programs. Let's go ahead and hop into this one. This was a pretty low-scoring game. In the first quarter, a pretty uneventful one. Both teams would not be able to do much there. Getting a first down and stalling out just before midfield. But Baker would get going late in the first, so let's go ahead and pick up there. On that drive, Sanaya Waller would find Logan Hearn for a big 26-yard gain to really get that drive going and, differentiate that from other drives where they couldn't get big plays. So there you go there. This drive would end with Waller finding Faith Phillips to make it 6-0. She would then throw it to Jalen Harris on the PAT to make it 7-0 at the top of the second with about 10-20 left. Following that, Baker would stop Southwestern, partially in thanks to a mishandled handoff/snap there, and so Southwestern would have to punt it. But then Waller on that drive afterwards would then throw it and get picked off by Mallory Lund on a 4th and 10 to end that drive with about 2:41 left there. And so Southwestern with a chance to potentially score right before the half. That would unfortunately end with Faith Phillips returning the favor and picking off Miranda Dooley, Southwestern's quarterback, who was trying to get it to Viviana Solis. And so Going to half, it was 7-0, Baker leading. In the third quarter, both teams continued to struggle to find some rhythm as they would go nowhere. And so let's skip to the fourth here. In the fourth quarter, Sanaya Waller leads a nice drive early in the fourth that would end with her finding Faith Phillips on 2nd and 20, a big 20-yard gain here with about 5:02 left in the fourth for a touchdown to go up 13-0. She would then throw the PAT to Kayla Harrison to make it 14-0. That would basically end this game as Southwestern on the following drive would immediately go 3 and out, which would kill their chances. And so just like that, Baker wins 14-0, maybe not playing the cleanest game once more here, but, catching fire at the end of quarters to go ahead and score as they win 14-0. Player of the game is Faith Phillips with some big plays there. Let's go ahead and go to the box score here. Let's start with Baker. Sanaya Waller, 24-47, 226 yards, 2 touchdowns, but also threw 2 picks. Lead rusher was, it looks like, I don't know if this is correct here, but they accredited it to Daniela Gonzalez Takashima, so there you go with 12. Kayla Harrison led the team with 11 receptions for 74 yards. Daniela Gonzalez Takashima had 6 receptions for 72 yards. Very productive there. Logan Hearn, 2 for 45. Faith Phillips, 2 for 23 there. Both of those receptions were touchdown catches, so gotta love that. On defense for Baker, Kayla Harrison led with 8 tackles. Kenya Arias right behind her with 7. Faith Phillips, like I said, with an interception in this game here. And then no sacks for Baker. So there you go. For Southwestern, Miranda Dooley kind of struggled here, but went 12 of 22 for 83 yards and a pick. Ran 6 times for 18 yards. Not getting much there. Viviana Solis with a productive game, though. 5 receptions for 45 yards. On defense, Sammy Labosco led them with 10 tackles. Aaliyah Hansen with 5. Mallory Lund with 4. And an interception. Viviana Solis also had an interception in this one as well. So there you go there. Baker winning another big time game. I believe now they're at 11 wins on the season. That would close out their regular season for them. And they got to feel pretty solid about that here. Maybe not the cleanest game, but still found a way to end their season on a 3-game winning streak, which you got to feel good about. For Southwestern, not a bad first season at all, as this was also their last game here. Lost only 14-0. They had some chances, but just could not really get too much going on the season here. They went 6-7 in their first season, which is not bad at all here. Had some good games and whatnot. So there you go there. But that would end the season for them, as Baker, like I said, wins 14-0 in both of the regular season finales. All right, moving on, we're talking about number 5 St. Thomas playing number 18 Point. Point, though, coming off of a nice win here over Florida Memorial, but honestly, this game, it was just not a close one at all. St. Thomas would end up winning 38-0 at half. It was 25-0. So there you go. I got some box score stats to still talk about. Holly Neer, 23 of 28, 254 yards, 4 touchdowns. Also had a 5-yard rushing touchdown to add on there as well. Leah Cruz, 4 receptions, 58 yards. Riona Baker, 7 for 56 and 3 touchdowns there, getting the hat trick. Tyler Bryant, 3 for 56 and a touchdown. Kaylee Miller, 3 for 30. And then Kayla Alvarez also brought in a receiving touchdown. On defense for St. Thomas, they would pitch the shutout Aquincia Jones, having a great season, by the way. 10 tackles and 2 pass breakups, leading the team in tackles there. Cameron Campbell and Mayeli Cayon with 5 tackles each as well. Fiona Baker with an interception. Zakira Wims with an interception in this one. And Maya Salas with a sack here. Looks like Nola and Leon at least in this box score here. So boom. Now Jada Graham was on here. 1 reception for 16 yards. So boom. All right, now for point struggles here, Maddie Motz, though, 25 of 28. So just a lot of short stuff here that just wasn't there. For 81 yards and 2 interceptions. Also had 33 rushing yards. Jordan Palmer, 12 receptions for 36 yards. Kyleo Warros, 5 receptions for 16. Like I said, not too much going there. Playing it safe, which I get for sure. Laney Grace Benefield leading them once more with 9 tackles and a break up there. And yeah, there you go. Like I said, I didn't think this would be a super close game here. Point actually, like just looking at the box score stats, did not play bad. I mean, on offense, that is Matty Motts, 25 of 28. Only 3 incompletions. 2 of those, though, were turnovers. And on top of that, I mean, they scored 0. Just not able to get anything going here. Playing it safe, playing smart football, but just obviously outmatched in this one. For St. Thomas, had a bit of an offensive explosion here against Point, which, I mean, you can feel good about, get some momentum going there for sure, as this offense was clicking, but, still got to do this against at least a top 10, top 5 opponent here moving forward. Well, they have to moving forward if they want to keep that season alive. So there you go there, but St. Thomas taking care of business 38-0.
What is going on, everybody? Gino here with the Playmakers Corner podcast, and we got a special one for y'all today. We have the number 6 PMC ranked Ottawa Braves facing off against the number 4 PMC ranked Kansas Wesleyan Coyotes in the KCAC Championship. Kansas Wesleyan got their first win in team history against Ottawa just a few weeks ago and have been balling out all season long with a 14-1 record. So winning the KCAC for the first time in program history would go a long way for their championship aspirations. Meanwhile, Ottawa is still looking to reestablish themselves as the powerhouse squad that we all expect them to be, and are looking to grab their 4th straight KCAC title. There's clearly a lot on the line for both squads, so let's go ahead and see how this game shook out. Starting off here in the first quarter, it is Kansas Wesleyan with the ball here to start off this conference championship. 1st and 6. On first down, it is a quick curl to Jasmine Whitfield to give the Coyotes a first down. On 1st and 18, the QB Chihiro Iwata launches an absolute dime to Jada Wilson in stride, and that gets the Coyotes a first down near the red zone right away here. 1st and 4 here following that big play, and Iwata takes a QB draw, and that gets the Coyotes into the red zone for another Kansas Wesleyan first down. 1st and 18 here, Hannah Serquina nearly gets a sack and forces a dangerous pass over the middle that is dropped and nearly picked off by DJ Paris. 2nd and 18 now, Iwata finds Jada Wilson along the sideline, but she tumbles out of bounds for no gain. On 3rd and 18, Ottawa rushes 2, but it doesn't matter as Iwata hits Kieran DeQuee on a curl route to push Kansas Wesleyan near the end zone. 4th and 2 here, Iwata takes the snap as Ottawa rushes 2, and Hannah Serquina gets a big-time sack to shut down a promising drive and force the turnover on downs. Amazing play there from the Ottawa defense. 1st and 13 for Ottawa to start their first drive of the game following the goal line stand. Their QB, Madison Carrera, hits Jaslyn Camacho near the sideline for 6 yards. And then on 2nd down, Carrera finds Alyssa Linkus, but Angel Roman is able to shut that play down to make it 3rd down here. 3rd and 4 now, Carrera is under heavy pressure, but is able to dance around and hit Mandolin Scalisi for a big-time first down. A deep pass down the sideline falls incomplete on 1st and 16, and then on 2nd down, Jada Wilson nearly gets an interception, but it's incomplete nonetheless. 3rd and 16 now for Ottawa. Carrera finds Alyssa Linkus on a quick out, but Alexa Mansour gets the flagpole well short of the first down, so the Braves will set up to punt here. It is 1st and 11 for Kansas Wesleyan following a booming punt. A check down pass gets them a few yards, and then on 2nd down, Iwata's pass is overthrown to make it 3rd and 7. On 3rd down, Iwata tried to find Jasmine Whitfield on an out route, but the pass is just out of reach, so the Coyotes will punt it back to Ottawa. A very weak punt puts Ottawa at 1st and 6 near the red zone. Bunch formation here as Madison Carrera finds Marley Spielberg in a tight window to put the Braves near the first down, and that takes us to the end of the first quarter, still tied at 0 in this conference championship. Into the second quarter now, 2nd and 1 for Ottawa to start off this quarter. Bunch formation again here as a pass to Marley Spielberg on a short crosser and a bad pitch pushes Ottawa back 5 yards to make it 3rd and 6. On 3rd down, Carrera is flushed out right and narrowly avoids a couple flag pulls to make it 4th down in inches. On 4th down, Carrera finds Mandolin Scalisi opened on a slant to give the Braves a first down into the red zone for the first time in this game. 1st and 10 here for Ottawa. A slant to Scalisi is swatted down by Ashley Hawthorne. And then Madison Carrera rolls out left and makes a perfect throw across her body. And it is caught by Alyssa Linkus in tight coverage in the end zone for an Ottawa Braves touchdown. Ottawa leads now 7-0 following the extra point with 9:30 left in the half. 1st and 6 for Kansas Wesleyan as they try and tie this one up. Chihiro Iwata hits Jada Wilson on a curl route along the sideline for the first down. Then on 1st and 17, Iwata is under heavy pressure from DJ Paris, and her pass is dropped. 2nd and 17 now, Iwata is flushed out right by Paris as she lobs one up on the run, and it is caught, but the receiver was unable to get a foot down there, so it will be 3rd and long here. On 3rd down, Iwata is once again flushed out right, but she is able to find Jasmine Whitfield on the run for a decent gain, but the Coyotes will select to punt it here on 4th and 5 with 6.5 minutes left in the half. The cameraman has the camera pointed at midfield, so I missed what happened on a few plays, but skip ahead and it is 2nd and 10 for the Braves. On 2nd down, Madison Carrera is under heavy pressure from Diane Rubano to force a bad pass and incompletion. On 3rd and 10, Carrera nails Jaslyn Camacho on a post route to put Ottawa across midfield. 1st and 20 here for the Braves as Carrera checks it down to Addison Osborne at the last second, and Osborne takes that for a gain of 10 as Kansas Wesleyan calls timeout here with 2:58 left in the half. 2nd and 10 following the timeout, Carrera launches it deep, and it is caught in the end zone for an Ottawa touchdown. I can't believe it, man, but the cameraman is still not moving the camera at all, and it is still pointed at midfield, and it hasn't moved for the last few minutes, so I missed that play, but Ottawa now leads 13-0 with 2:51 left in the half. Judging by the sidelines reaction, that must have been a crazy play, and I just seriously can't believe that I missed that touchdown, but I guess it is what it is. 1st and 6 for Kansas Wesleyan as they really need an answer here before it gets out of hand. I missed the next few plays, but I saw that Angel Roman made a nice catch to give the Coyotes a first down. 1st and 15 here, Iwata throws an absolute dime to Jasmine Whitfield to put Kansas Wesleyan across midfield with half a minute remaining in the half. Iwata hits a receiver along the sideline, and now everything is out of view as the cameraman is still somehow not moving. It is seriously ridiculous that this is happening in a conference championship game. Kansas Wesleyan calls timeout with 20 seconds left as I await to see any reactions from the Kansas Wesleyan sideline. Kansas Wesleyan scored somehow and got the extra point, so that will make the score 13-8 as we head into halftime. Ottawa leads Kansas Wesleyan 13-8 at the end of the half, and I am hoping and praying that this cameraman gets off his ass and allows me to see what happens in the second half. Let's see what happens. Heading into the third quarter here, it is 1st and 6 for Ottawa to start the half, and the cameraman has woken from his slumber, so we are officially back, folks. Madison Carrera's throw on 1st down is a quick hitter to Jaslyn Camacho for 5 yards, and then on 2nd and short, it is a crosser to Alyssa Linkus to give the Braves a first down. 1st and 17 now, and Diane Rubano nearly gets the sack, but Carrera is able to check it down to Addison Osborne at the last second as Osborne goes crazy for a 12-yard gain, avoiding multiple flag pulls there. 2nd and 5 now for Ottawa. Carrera hits Mandolin Scalisi on a curl route that gets them the first down across midfield. First and 17 now. Madison Carrera leans back and drops a perfect deep ball in stride to Mandolin Scalisi as she runs that one in for an Ottawa touchdown with 9:42 left in the quarter. Carrera continues to drop dimes in this one as the Braves lead now 20-8 early on here in the third quarter. First and 6 for Kansas Wesleyan as they try to answer down 2 scores. On first down, Awada finds Jasmine Whitfield over the middle for a first down. First and 18 here as Awada is flushed out right and throws it back to the halfback for a couple yards. On second and 15, Awada throws it up deep and Kiaran DeQuee jumps up and rips the ball out of the defender's hands, and she goes all the way for a Kansas Wesleyan touchdown. What an absolutely ridiculous play, and one of the best plays I have seen all season, and that makes it 20-14 with 7:58 left in the quarter. First and 6 for Ottawa as they try and add some cushion to their lead. Carrera keeps it, but her flag is pulled by Anse Diane Rubano after a few yards, and on second down, a deep ball down the sideline is way overthrown. On third and 2, Carrera keeps it again for a few yards to give Ottawa a first down. First and 18 now, Carrera doesn't like what she sees and keeps it yet again for a nice gain. Second and 11 here, great blocking from Addison Orsborn allows Carrera to find Jaslyn Camacho over the middle to give the Braves a first down across midfield. On first and 16, Carrera checks it down to Orsborn, and Orsborn once again dances around for a nice gain. Second and 7 here as Carrera takes the snap and finds Bailey Hodgins on a curl route to put the Braves near the red zone. On third and 2, Carrera hits Alyssa Linkus on the run as Linkus makes a bobbled catch for a first down into the red zone. First and 16 for Ottawa, Carrera nails Mandolin Scalisi in stride for about 6 yards, and then on second down, Carrera drops an absolute dime over the defense into the back of the end zone, but the pass is somehow dropped there. Third and 10 now, Addison Orsborn continues to give great protection as Madison Carrera hits an open Marley Spielberg as Spielberg reaches across for the Ottawa touchdown. Carrera then made a ridiculous perfect throw to the back of the end zone for a 2-point conversion to put Ottawa up 28-14 with 1:36 left in the third quarter. Just a flat-out unbelievable game from Carrera so far, as she now has 4 touchdowns. First and 6 for Kansas Wesleyan, as they need a score here to stay in this one. Chihiro Awada's pass to Angel Roman is just out of reach, and then on second down, a false start on the Coyotes pushes them back 5. Second and 11 here, Awada feels the pressure and decides to keep it for a nice gain near the first down, and that will take us to the end of the third quarter. We've got a good one here, folks, as Ottawa leads Kansas Wesleyan 28-14 as we head into the final quarter of the KCAC championship game. Third and 1 for Kansas Wesleyan to start the final quarter of the game. Chihiro Awada hits Jasmine Whitfield on a quick out to give the Coyotes a first down. First and 13 now, Awada nails Angel Roman open on an out route for a nice gain near midfield. Second and 2 here for Kansas Wesleyan. DJ Paris makes a great play and breaks up a first down pass to make it 3rd and 2. On third down, Awada smartly decides to keep it as she takes it across midfield for a big-time first down. First and 12 here for the Coyotes. Awada leans back and launches one down the sideline, but tight coverage forces an incompletion. On second down, Awada is nearly sacked and is forced to throw off balance to an open Angel Roman as the pass is just barely out of reach. On third and 12, Awada is able to find Jasmine Whitfield to get the Coyotes near the first down. Fourth and 2 here, Ottawa rushes 2 as DJ Paris gets to Awada and forces a pass just out of the reach of Angel Roman, and that is a turnover on downs with just under 7 minutes left. Paris made it extremely tough for Awada to make that throw, so that is just a big-time play there. First and 14 for Ottawa to start their drive as they try and put this game away. Madison Carrera finds an open Alyssa Linkus over the middle for a gain of 6, and then on second down, those two connect again for another 5 yards. 3rd and 1 now for Ottawa as the clock now ticks under 5 minutes. Carrera rolls out left and lobs it up to Marley Spielberg, who pitches it back to Jaslyn Camacho for a big-time first down. 1st and 15 now for Ottawa with less than 4 minutes remaining. The Braves continue to pick apart the soft coverage from Kansas Wesleyan as Madison Carrera hits Alyssa Linkus, and Linkus runs that for a big gain into the red zone here. 1st and 19 here, Carrera pitches back a power option for a 6-yard gain as the clock now ticks under 2 minutes. And then on 2nd down, Carrera hits Randrea Gamble for 6 more yards. 3rd and 7 for Ottawa with under a minute to go, and Madison Carrera rolls out right and keeps it herself, and she reaches across for a game-ending Ottawa touchdown, and that will be her 5th of the game, folks. Ottawa takes a 35-14 lead with 33 seconds left, and that will be our final score in this one as Ottawa gets revenge on Kansas Wesleyan to get their 4th straight KCAC championship with a 35-14 win. What an amazing way to end the season and to snatch the KCAC crown for the Ottawa Braves. Your PMC Playmaker of the game has to go to Madison Carrera, who might have played the best game I have seen out of any quarterback throughout this entire season. She made some flat-out ridiculous throws in this game and made an elite Kansas Wesleyan secondary look non-existent. I also want to shout out Addison Orsborn, who was flat-out amazing with her protection and also made some awesome plays when she got the ball into her hands. You also had great games from the receivers Alyssa Linkus, Jaslyn Camacho, Marley Spielberg, and Mandolin Scalisi, who all made a huge impact in this one to get Ottawa this conference championship. On the defensive side of the ball, it was DJ Paris who straight up dominated, as she was a problem both as a rusher and also when she dropped back into coverage. She straight up shut down drives with her athleticism and elite instincts. Congrats to the Ottawa Braves for their conference championship, and I really look forward to seeing what they do in the national tournament. As for Kansas Wesleyan, that was easily the toughest game that they have played all season. That was clearly not the same Ottawa team that they played a few weeks ago, because Kansas Wesleyan got simply outplayed in every facet of the game. Chihiro Owada actually looked a little rattled for the first time all season, and although she didn't throw any picks, she definitely missed some throws throughout this game. The Coyotes are still a threat to win the national championship, and I definitely look forward to seeing how they will respond in Atlanta. This is Gino with the Playmakers Corner podcast checking out, and I want to thank you all for listening to this week's episode, and I will see you all in week 10. Peace out.
All right, now Midland versus Cottey. I do gotta apologize for this one. Wasn't able to catch it live with all the games going on here, so I mean we just weren't able to. And there's no box score available. When I look back at the playback, it like literally skips all the football plays, which makes me want to tear my hair out here. But it was a matchup between number 8 Midland and number 14 Cottey. It looked like Cottey played them kind of close here. Like I said, I literally could not see who was making plays because the playback on the stream kept like literally cut out anytime someone made a play there, so it was just impossible to recover there. But Midland would end up winning this one 20-0 as expected, but a little bit closer than, some might think. So there you go there. Once again, sorry we could not get a more detailed recap here. All right, moving on, we have number 1 Keiser playing number 13 Life. This was not a close game. It was like 38-0 at half. Keiser would end up winning actually 66-0. So got some box scores here. Jasmine rode in 10 of 13 for 88 yards, 4 touchdowns. They got Haley Young in there, who had almost as many attempts, 9 of 12 for 101 yards and 2 touchdowns. Emma Wagman, 3 of 4 for 30 yards and a touchdown. That's an interesting wrinkle there. As far as receiving goes, Adriana Rodriguez, 5 receptions for 58. Brianna Hernandez Silva, 4 receptions, 41 yards, and 3 touchdowns, a hat trick. And then you have Chloe Griffin, Ashley Clam, Kennedy Foster, and Marissa Rubino all catching receiving touchdowns. On defense here, Samaya Bryant led with 4 tackles. Emma Wagman here with 3 sacks there. Sydney Woodman, 2 tackles, another interception to add on there. Kylie Caetano, 2 sacks here. geez, a lot of interceptions. Kennedy Foster grabbed one, Zeta Molson grabbed one, Adriana Cavallati grabbed one, Ashley Clam all grabbed an interception in this one as Life just continued to struggle there on offense. And speaking of Life here, Kamaya Graves, 9 of 26 for 49 yards, 4 picks. Jayla Wright, 1 of 2 for 12 and a pick. Kamaya Graves with 48 rushing yards here, though. And then as far as receptions go, not too much here. Kama Sweet, 2 for 29. Alturia Gooch, only 2 for 11. Now, going to the defensive side of things, Mariah Hodges with 5 tackles, that would lead the team as Life. I didn't expect them to beat Keiser here, but regardless, losing a tough one to Keiser, 66-0. All right, now our last game was Reinhardt versus Milligan, and what's unfortunate is that this looked like a really good game here. Reinhardt at the time was ranked at 15, Milligan at 14 here. And, they'd host, and I just couldn't find the stream. I went to their YouTube channel, checked out a couple places, and it was just not shown anywhere, I guess, which is kind of weird. And then no box scores or recaps here, unfortunately. But Reinhardt would win a pretty big one, 20-6. So there you go there. Once again, apologize, not a detailed recap, but it is what it is. So there you go there. All right, let's get to Playmaker of the Week here, brought to you by Code Red Coaching. Make sure you check them out at Code Red Coaching on social media or at coderedcoaching.com, or just go ahead and call 720-979-1914. Like I said, make sure you go ahead and check out Code Red Coaching, who brings you this week's Playmaker of the Week. And this week we have a couple finalists. There's 3 to be exact, starting with Kansas Wesleyan's Angel Roman in their game against Midland here last Wednesday. Angel Roman had a great game, 4 receptions, 52 yards, 2 receiving touchdowns. Also had 5 flag pulls, an interception, and a pass breakup en route to their win over Midland. So there you go there. We also have Thomas's Caitlin Herb in her game against St. Thomas here. Had an excellent defensive game with 4 tackles, 2 sacks, and an interception there. And then a little bit, she ran for 5 yards on offense as well. So there you go. But a big time disruptor for Thomas in that St. Thomas matchup there. So there you go. And then finally, we have Madison Carrera of Ottawa in her final regular season game as a Brave against Kansas Wesleyan in the regular season conference championship. She went 32 of 38, 274 passing yards, 4 passing touchdowns, also had 37 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown, getting back into form here and looking like the 3-time MVP Madison Carrera, and someone who has won many of these. And so there you go there. But this week 9 here, some great players for sure, but I think it's pretty obvious we gotta give it to Ottawa's Madison Carrera. 5 touchdowns in this game, in a game against Kansas Wesleyan where she didn't exactly play super well against them last time. She bounces back, secures another conference championship. And as far as career goes, every year of her career they've won a conference championship, so that's been big time. So there you go there. That is your week 9 Playmaker of the Week. All right, now let's go ahead and talk about power rankings here. These will be our second to last power rankings before next week, just because the regular season will be over by then. But in case you don't know how we do our rankings, just going to say it one more time here. Myself, Kodey, Gino, we go ahead and rank teams 1 through 20. If we rank a team at 1, that team gets 20 points, 2, 19, 3, 18, so on and so on. And so we individually rank them. So there will be some similarities, but for the most part, a lot of our rankings are a little bit different. And so there you go there. Now, once we do that, we will then go ahead and I will add up all the scores that each team got. And so the team with the most points is at number 1, and so on and so on. And so let's go ahead and hop into it by first talking about last week here in week 8, just in case you don't remember. But at number 20 in week 8 was Bethel, 19 Graceland, 18 points, 17 Cottey, 16 St. Mary, 15 Reinhardt, 14 Milligan, 13 Life, 12 Florida Memorial, 11 Southwestern, 10 Baker, 9 Campbellsville, 8 Midland, 7 Weber, 6 Ottawa, 5 St. Thomas, 4 Kansas Wesleyan, 3 Thomas, 2 Warner, and at number 1 was Keiser. Now, going into this week here, at number 20 and 19 is Bethel and Graceland. I think at this point, neither team is going to play here, so nothing really changes there. But at 18, down 6 spots compared to last week, is Florida Memorial. This is what Kodey had to say about FMU. To lose in such a way that encapsulates what's wrong with the culture will plummet the squad down to the cellar. Along with only having 1 win this season, they belong down here, is what Kodey says. Ooh. Gino does not say anything about Florida Memorial, keeping his silence there. We all dropped FMU to 18, no matter how high they were before, which is a little crazy, but we kind of saw this thing coming. Their culture has been a little iffy. They've struggled with a lot of penalties lately. And finally, at the end of the day, as we are approaching the end of the regular season, they've won 1 game all season long. And, to lose this game against Point, a first-year program who has less players, who doesn't have as many great athletes, and even then, I would say FMU, I love the athletes they have over some of the athletes that, Point may have, at least from a physical talent standpoint. That's a tough game to lose, and if you watch the final play and whatnot, it's like, dude, they kind of set themselves up for failure there. And it's just mediocrity here, and I don't know. There's only so much you could do. So right now they're at 18, dropping down 6 spots, the most out of any team, whether they're moving up or down for this week. Now at 17 is the University of St. Mary, who does drop 1 spot here. This is what Gino had to say about them, who he keeps at 16, but he says a 13-0 shutout to Cottey is not an ideal way to end the season. I think there are brighter horizons ahead of them for the Spires, as long as the development of Shine Brooks goes well, which I expect to. Kodey had this to say about St. Mary, who he has dropping from 15 to 17. Not a great week, but they find ways to compete and have lots of young playmakers that could see more improvement. So there you go there. I actually keep the University of St. Mary right here. Did lose a tough one to Cottey, but in general, I like where this program is moving forward. As far as competing right now, I think they could definitely compete with a lot of the teams from around this area to maybe as far as number 10 or 11, I would say. Maybe even 9 or 8, depending on the squad there. Number 9 team, number 8 team in the country, I mean. And, they got some talent. They got some talent to work with. They have time with that team, too. And so I'm pretty confident in the fact that they got better compared to where they were last season. And I do say that because the regular season for them is over. And so it is time to reflect a little bit. And I'm pretty confident in the fact that they've taken a step forward and that they should feel good about where they're going right now. Now, whatever happens in the postseason, I think will be extra. You'll be able to see where their ceiling truly is. But, you got to feel good about the University of St. Mary in general moving forward. But unfortunately this year, just another tougher year, but not as bad as last year for sure. Now, moving on, we have number 16, Point, who does move up 2 spots. Gino has this to say about Point, who he moves up a spot. He said, the plus side is that Point is a new program and they just got a close win over Florida Memorial. The negative side is that I think they are a couple recruiting classes away from being a serious team. Kodey had this to say about Point, who he moves up from 18 to 16. Got to play the hand you're dealt with. And while there was some rough patches this season, showing perseverance and winning on a PAT shows grit and character. That could be a positive trend. I also moved Point up from 18 to 16. And yeah, I gotta agree, definitely tough with what they have right now. But if they continue to fill out the roster, like Gino said, they could be in a good spot. But, right now, I like the core that they have. They have shown some toughness in this last game and throughout the season. And so that's something to take away from moving forward here. They've really fought, in a lot of the games they were in. So there you go. Now at 15 here is Milligan, who moves down a spot. Kodey has this to say about Milligan, who he moves down personally from 14 to 15. He said, losing to Reinhardt and the plague of inconsistencies is brutal, combined with the lack of full schedule posting. But they did beat life, so these next few spots are super interchangeable depending on the day. Gino had this to say about Milligan, who he has moving from 12 to 14. He said the Buffaloes are really struggling down the stretch here to end the year, and I thought that was going to change after they took down Life, but then they went ahead and lost badly to Reinhardt. Really hard to be excited about this team to end the year. I had Milligan going actually for me from 15 to 13. You know, they did beat Life, which I gave them a lot of credit to, but then they lost to Reinhardt, and it was only by 2 scores, so I'm not stressing out about it, but it was at home, which is kind of tough there. Either way, Milligan's an interesting spot. I think Kodey said it best here. They are pretty interchangeable with all the teams kind of in this spot here, around this area, within 2 or 3 spots, I would say. And I would also agree with Gino. I kind of would have expected them to continue to roll here. They have some solid pieces. I like their quarterback. I like a lot of their skill players for the most part. It's just interesting how they vary so much throughout the season. So it's been really hard to get a consistent pulse on them. But maybe that's what makes them, you know, who they are, being inconsistent. So there you go. Now, at 14 is Cottey, who moves up 3 spots as they end their season. Gino has Cottey moving from 17 to 13. He says, it feels strange putting Cottey up this high, but to be honest with how the teams below did this week, I don't really have much of a choice than to move the Comets up to 13 this week. Kodey had Cottey at 13 here, who he moved up 3 spots. And he didn't have anything to say. So there you go. I moved up Cottey just a little bit here. A big win over the University of St. Mary to end the season here. And, you know, this Cottey team, they're a team that we know what they have. I know they know their identity over there as well. And they've at least been relatively consistent when playing teams around their level for the most part, right? And we'll see what happens with them continuing to move forward. I still think they gotta, you know, continue to recruit and whatnot if they want to find success past this point and consistently be at least a top 10 team. But for now, they're gonna kind of hover around this area along with the likes of Milligan, Point, St. Mary's, that type of crew for now. But, you know, they are probably the more consistent team out of that group, if I had to say that. So there you go. Now at 13 is Life, who actually stays here. Gino had this to say about Life, who he moves from 13 to 15. He said some disastrous blowout losses to a struggling Milligan squad and a powerhouse in Keiser is enough for me to drop the Running Eagles a couple spots. The road only gets harder too, as they now get to go against Warner and Thomas next week to end the regular season. Kodey had this to say about Life, who he has at 11, keeping them at 11. He said, I know that losing to Milligan isn't great, but looking at their scores across the season, I think this is a proper spot of starting. What? This is a proper spot of, I think he means this is a proper spot of a starting program. Does someone look ahead and using the sample size for new teams to project? I don't know if that was completely, if I just don't completely understand it. But there you go there. And then I did not have, or I had Life, staying right here at 14, not moving them down. I'm not super concerned about Milligan here. They're a young squad, so they'll be a little inconsistent. And with some of the other teams as well, you know, I just wasn't sure about moving them up or down with how some of those other games went. So there you go. Now at 12 is Reinhardt, who moves up 3 spots. Kodey had this to say about Reinhardt, who he has moving from 17 to 13. Kudos to Reinhardt for getting that second win in a solid way over Milligan, playing up to their projected skill, in my opinion. Gino had this to say about Reinhardt, who he moved up from 15 to 12. Reinhardt got a big-time win over Milligan, and honestly, that's enough for me to move them up to 12, considering how bad the teams below them have been playing. This is a young roster, so it is good to see that they're getting some wins down the stretch here to end the regular season For me, I had Reinhardt moving up one spot from 13 to 12. It is good seeing them play up to par here and whatnot. And I'd have to agree with what Kodey and Gino had to say. Moving on, we actually have a tie for 10th. It's Campbellsville and Southwestern. Campbellsville actually moving down one spot. Southwestern was at 11 last week, if that makes any sense there. Let's talk about Southwestern first. Gino has Southwestern still here at 11. He says 6-6 record is not bad at all for a first-year program to end the regular season. The Mound Builders have a great foundation, and I really think once they fill that roster out, they're going to be a perennial top 10 team in the future. Kodey had this to say about Southwestern. Love the talent and how close this squad has dabbled with 500. For me, I had Southwestern moving up from 12 to 11. Love the core that they have there for them to get back to 500. That's big time. I agree with Gino. That's a good spot to be in as a first-year program, especially in the KCAC where you got a lot of older teams as well, which you got to keep in mind there. So there you go there. The team tied with them is Campbellsville, who does move down a spot, but this is what Gino has to say about them, who he moves down from 9 to 10. He said 4 straight losses for Campbellsville, so they should consider themselves lucky that they aren't completely falling out of the top 10. Kodey had this to say about Campbellsville, who he keeps out of his top 10 right here at 12, not moving them up or down. He said this team got blitzed this week, but still had to keep them ahead of the other 5 spots from other games in the season. For me, I had Campbellsville right here, moving down from 8 to 10. Some tough games here. I didn't expect them to win either of them against Warner and Weber, I believe. But it would have been nice for it to be closer, especially considering they, played Warner really close in a 12-6 OT game like last week or 2 weeks ago. So would have wanted to see a little bit more here. But I think this is about where they're at, around that 10-ish spot anyways. Moving on, we have Baker, who moves up to number 9 from 10 last week. Gino had this to say about Baker. Baker continues to impress with a shutout win over Southwestern, and what an overall amazing season for the new program. Being ranked all the way at 9 with a 9-5 record and multiple big-time wins is flat out awesome for a first-year program. He had them moving up one spot personally. Kodey has Baker at 9 as well, who he keeps them here. He said, this squad had an undefeated week, continuing a great debut season, and feel like a team that will win games they're supposed to and play perfectly down their lane. So there you go there. Down their lane, that's an interesting one. And then I have Baker moving from 11 to 8 here. We know what they have over there. I think they have a really good core. They got to figure some things out. Offensively, they kind of struggled a little bit this week. Still won, by, I want to say 2 scores in their games, but a close one, a close week for sure here. A win is a win, though, and they have a winning culture over there. This is a team to be excited about moving forward because I do think that based off of this season alone, they have the potential to be a perennial yearly top 10 team. And, as more teams get added to the NAIA, I think that'll probably continue to stick here. I would say probably. And if they continue to recruit, they could be on a really interesting path moving forward. So there you go there. Baker at 9. So there you go. Now at 8 is Midland, who stays right here at 8. Kodey has them at 8 in his personal rankings. He said the loss to Southwestern is still pretty whack, but they eventually bounce back with the right kind of win over Cottey. Gino said this about Baker, who he has at 8 as well. Didn't move them up or down. He said Midland picked themselves up after that loss to KWU with a dominating win over Cottey. I still am not going to drop them or rise them or rise them because at the end of the day, I trust them more than the teams below them. I don't think they're in the same tier as the top 7 teams. And yeah, obviously I kept Midland there as they don't move up or down. I agree with Gino. They're probably not in the same tier as the top 10 teams. I think maybe the closest game would probably be Weber versus Midland. That would be an excellent game. And in all reality, I think Weber, Midland, Baker, Campbellsville are in all pretty similar spots here. The difference there is that Midland has a good amount of experience, along with Weber, I'd say. Well, actually, I'd say Midland would have more experience than Weber here, and so you kind of never know what to expect out of them. They're going to be a little bit of a wild card here as we enter the postseason. But, considering the coaching changes that they experienced like right before the season, Midland should be proud of where they're at right now. And they have the potential to do more too moving forward. So we'll see about that. Now, moving on, we have Weber, who stays right here at 7. Gino has this to say about Weber. He said, Weber almost got that win over Warmer, and they're another team with a frustrating offense. They still remain at the 7 seed because I feel like there's still a bit of a gap between Weber and the teams under them. Kodey had this to say about Weber. He said, the Warriors had so many, and this is his longest entry, by the way, but Kodey said, the Warriors had so many opportunities to beat Warner, but just made too many mistakes on offense. The defense played incredible, forcing a ton of turnovers, but the turnovers by the Weber offense just had worse results and ended in a loss. That shows that if they just stay locked in, they can play with anybody, and they just need to finish these games. They did bounce back with a dominant and probably pissed off win over Campbellsville. So, yeah, there you go. I mean, I don't think there's any reason to drop Weber here, but there's also no reason to raise them. That kind of shows where their ceiling is, Offensively, you kind of hope for more. We said this at the beginning of the season, throughout the season, but it is what it is right now. And so there's going to be some good days and bad days, but I think the bad days will definitely reflect a little bit harder because, when they're losing, it's because their offense isn't playing as well as they could. It's really not too much on the defense, I would say. And that's kind of been the story all season here. So there you go. Now, at 6 is St. Thomas, who moves down one spot. Gino had this to say about STU. He said 2 straight losses to top 3 opponents put a bit of a dent in the Bobcats' championship aspirations. Their offense just seems unable to keep up with the high-powered offenses that fill out the top 5. Kodey had this to say about St. Thomas. Their loss was honestly kind of embarrassing with blown coverages, bad decisions, and just an offense that was off the mark all day. If the spot below them did not lose such a heartbreaker, they'd be at 7. So there you go there. I have St. Thomas at 6 as well. We are all the same here. Actually, moving forward, all our rankings are the same here, by the way. So there you go. But yeah, I mean, it is kind of what it is. Defensively, they're going to do their thing. No NAIA Leone. I want to say against Thomas definitely hurt them a little bit there. And that's tough. I mean, was she going to win them that game? No. You needed an offense to win them that game. And this offense has just played pretty well below standard. But here's the thing about St. Thomas moving forward as they enter the regular season and postseason. This is still a team that has an offense that could catch fire at any moment, I think. Now, we've been waiting for that moment for months now, and I mean catch fire against a top, tier contender team. That's what I mean there. But we've been waiting for that moment for months now. It just hasn't been there. It just hasn't been there. And so maybe, once those competitive juices are flowing and you're in tournament play, it'll change for them. But it is what it is right now. Their defense is great though, but there's only so much a great defense could do for you if you don't have an offense playing up to potential at least. So there you go. Now at 5 is Kansas Wesleyan, who moves down a spot. Let's start with Kodey here first, actually. He said the Yotes kept it tight, but I think we're just a little too comfortable heading into the game. And I think the loss should be good to show now more than ever that they just have to be consistent if they want to succeed at Nationals. Now, Gino, he watched this game and he covered it. He said the Coyotes were so close yet so far from their first KCAC championship in program history. They got flat out dominated on both sides of the ball, so I'm going to have to drop them a spot under Ottawa after that loss. And yeah, agreed there. That's tough. They could have won it right there. Obviously they didn't, so now Ottawa has won the league once more. They had probably their best chance to win it ever, and it just sucks for them to be here, but we know that they have that potential. to, win this conference as they do enter, the postseason here this next weekend. And so that'll make things interesting for sure here and will be very telling going into nationals as well. So there you go there, but still a contender regardless. Now up 2 spots is the team that beat him. That is Ottawa here at 4. Gino had this to say about them. The Braves are once again KCAC champs, and I'm still confident in their national championship aspirations, especially with how they beat down Kansas Wesleyan in the KCAC regular season championship. If Madison Carrera can continue to play like how she did against K-Dub, then Ottawa might very well repeat as champions this season. Kodey had this to say about Ottawa. Not only did Ottawa get their lick back against KW, they're playing their brand of Braves football at the perfect time of the season and plan on riding that pendulum swing back to the top. Yeah, agreed there. I said this weeks ago. Ottawa could lose as many games as possible, but until they are eliminated in the postseason, you still got to give them the benefit of the doubt. That's what 3 national championships does for them, at the very least here. Now, let's not get it twisted. They still lost for a reason. It wasn't like other teams just got lucky 3 or 4 times against Ottawa, and were able to beat them those amount of times. So they are still beatable, but they are rolling. So you got to look out. You got to be on your A game against them as they enter their postseason. And, this is what they do. So we'll see what happens here, but got to be excited if you're an Ottawa fan or an Ottawa supporter out there as your team's right back in it. And they are the conference champs, regular season conference champs right now. So we'll see what happens next weekend. But at 3 is Thomas. Kodey had this to say about Thomas here. He said the Nighthawks' domination of STU almost made me want to put Thomas at the 2 spot. That could be waiting for them since this looked a lot more like the team that was balanced and strong at virtually every position. Gino had this to say about Thomas. Thomas once again got the win over St. Thomas in dominating fashion. The Nighthawks are one of the top contenders this year, and that win over St. Thomas absolutely proved that. And yeah, I gotta agree. Thomas, a lot like Ottawa, is rolling right now. They're going to be real tough to beat here in the coming weeks. And, they got the experience as well. I think that's what Kodey meant when he almost put them at 2. They got the experience, and they're playing their brand of football at an extremely high level. Now, at 2, though, here still for a reason, is Warner. Gino had this to say about Warner. He said Warner won another close win against Weber, and I gotta say, man, I am really worried about the offense against a team like Keiser. The defense is going to have to really show out because I do not like their chances in a shootout if Kaiser's offense is rolling. That game against Keiser will most likely decide who will be the 1 seed to end the season. Kodey had this to say about Warner. He said the Royals hung in there and defense wins championships and sometimes close games, but this offense was hard to watch and leaves me concerned for their mighty matchup against Keiser this week. Yeah, that's a big one. Warner, they had a really tough first week or 2 of the season. And then since then, they have not played a top 10 team, I want to say, in a while here. It's been a minute. I think the best teams that they've played since have either been ranked at 9 or 10, or has been Weber, actually. So there you go there. Other than that, unlike a lot of the teams here in our top 5, really top 7, let's say top 5 or top 6 here, they haven't played many other teams in this group this regular season. So this is going to be really telling, but also, we'll see if they can maintain that consistency, because as much as this game does matter, as a regular season game, it's not going to matter as much as the postseason games that are coming here ahead, but it will be able to tell us where Warner kind of stacks up right now against a top team in the country, the top team in the country, which is Keiser. And so let's go ahead and go to that. Gino had this to say about Keiser. The Seahawks have a huge game in the final week of the year against the number 2 ranked Warner Royals. That game will definitely decide who's the best team in the country. And I'll be honest, I really like Keiser's chances. Kodey did not say anything about Keiser, so I'm just going to go ahead and agree with Gino there. Yeah, that's a big one coming up for them. Keiser has been battle-tested here, but they haven't played Warner yet. I want to say this is their first matchup this season, so it's going to be really interesting to see how this team play them. It's going to be a very, not different, matchup of very different teams, but Keiser is more experienced. They have a lot more upperclassmen than Warner do, and so it's going to be an interesting experience to see what happens here, but regardless, should be a good game. So there you go there. Those are your Week 9 power rankings. At 20 is Bethel, 19 Graceland, 18 Florida Memorial, 17 St. Mary, 16 Point, 15 Milligan, 14 Cottey, 13 Life, 12 Reinhardt. Tied at 10 is Campbellsville and Southwestern. 9 is Baker, 8 Midland, 7 Weber, 6 St. Thomas, 5 KWU, Kansas Wesleyan, 4 Ottawa, 3 Thomas, 2 Warner, and at number 1 for now is Keiser. All right, there you go. That wraps up this episode of the Playmakers Corner podcast. Thank you so much for rocking with us. We really appreciate it. I know this was a longer episode, but a lot of games to cover. Wanted to give an appropriate amount of detail to each of these games, especially the big ones here. So there you go. But there you go. That's the end of the regular season for the KCAC Sun Conference, and the rest will come after this week here. But the KCAC will go ahead and do their postseason tournament here soon, so stay tuned for that recap next week. And then awards. We've pretty much narrowed down most of our finalists, and so after next week recap, we will release those on social media, so be on the lookout for those. And we'll be voting on, or you'll be voting, the fans on Twitter/X per usual. So remember that. Go ahead and participate in that fan vote. And then myself, the guys on the podcast, and our other friends as well around the country will vote on them too. So stay tuned for that. Show us some love at Playmakers Corner anywhere on social media. Leave some comments, what you think as we approach the end of the regular season and the games that matter here in the postseason. But until then, we will catch you later.